League are proud of the reputation of the league and would like to ensure that the ballpark holds safe and enjoyable events for all of our visitors. Please help us in making this possible. We also ask that you join us in promoting good sportsmanship on and off the playing field. And we thank you for your cooperation. I'm your host for the evening, Luke Kilgore. First pitch tonight is scheduled for 6:35 p.m. We will have starting lineups announced here in just a few minutes. Now, sit back, relax, and have some fun at the ball game. Let's go Black Bears! Fans, it's time to meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Springfield
After
Drifters,
taking 2 of 3 this past week against the Victoria Harbor Cats, the Springfield Drifters travel north to Longview, Washington to face off against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Hello and welcome to historic David Story Field. My name is Knight Uretsky, your play-by-play man for the Springfield Drifters, and we're in a tight setup today here in Longview. And nonetheless, it is a great day for baseball. The Springfield Drifters come in winning 2 of their past 3 series. They got the series win against Corvallis. They dropped the series against Yakima, and they came back and won the series against Victoria earlier this week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they got the wins Monday and Tuesday. Monday on a walk-off by Trevor Anderson, and then Tuesday, they led early on 3-0. Isaac Avenue, Dylan O'Connor, and Hunter Dryden really got it going for the Drifters. Avenue, 7 innings of scoreless baseball on the mound. And then after that, it was O'Connor who came in, had 1 run come in, but it was an unearned run, and then Hunter Dryden got it done, closing it. On Wednesday, the Drifters fell in that one. They got out-hit pretty bad. It was 9-2 in the hits category. They only had 2 hits overall. But the bright spot was Julian Hernandez having 2 scoreless innings in the 8th and 9th. That was pretty much it.
Leading off the center fielder from Yama.
First time these 2 teams played, Cowlitz was able to take 2 of 3 against the Drifters. It was a really close series, and it was the first home series of the year for the Drifters. In game number 1, the Drifters ended up winning it 4-2. They used really timely hitting. The Drifters only got 4 hits in the entire game, but they scored 4 runs. And Trevor Barth was excellent through 5. They got the win in game number 1 of the doubleheader. game number 2 of the doubleheader in the series because the Saturday game was rained out. It was a heartbreaking loss for the Drifters. It was 8-7 in favor of Cowlitz, and that was a back-and-forth game. Drifters got ahead early 3-0, and then Cowlitz battled back. They tied it at 3, and they scored again later on in the 5th. The Drifters took the lead then 4-3, and then right after that in the top of the 6th, John Olson had a single to put the Black Bears ahead in that game, 5-4. The Drifters then scored 3 runs to go up 7-5. That was really great for Springfield at the time, but then they put out Zach Chonchik, who has been the closer for the Drifters, but it was his first outing of the year, and he really was a pitcher that is trying to figure out how to pitch because he was a position player at Pepperdine. They put him out to be the closer, and it didn't go so well for him. He had 3 runs, and he wasn't able to record a single out. 3 hits for him and a walk overall for Chonkic. But that was it for that final game, that game number 3 of the series after Cowlitz took game number 1 11-6, but it's a brand new series today. Let's go ahead and read you today's starting lineups. For Springfield, leading off is going to be Jalen Ray, the shortstop. Batting in the second spot is going to be Trevor Anson, the second baseman. Dane Frazier going to be the right fielder in the third position. Jordan Justice cleaning up in the left field. Cade Chris is going to be the first baseman, batting number 5. Dominic Hellman with his big bat is going to be batting behind him, number 6 in the lineup. Taylor Holder going to be the center fielder today. This is the first time that Holder's played that center field position. Matt Quintanar is going to be the DH, and then Nate Stevens is going to be behind the plate catching, rounding out the lineup for the Springfield Drifters. On the other side for Cowlitz, Ben Ziegler, who's going to be the center fielder today, is going to lead things off for the Black Bears. Callan Halverson is going to be the left fielder. Sam Canton, the DH, batting number 3. Alec Arnoti, the catcher in the cleanup spot. Austin Smith, the right fielder, batting number 5. Nick Miller, the third baseman, batting in the 6th spot. John Olson, who had a phenomenal series against the Drifters, game number 1, or rather series number 1. He went 12 of 13 in that series against the Drifters. He'll be batting in the 7 spot. Brock Brozette is going to be the shortstop, and then Brady Majewski rounding out the order, the 9-hole hitter. On the mound for Springfield is going to be number 1, Diego Chavez. He'll probably be an opener for him today, and then Raul Harada is going to be the pitcher for Cowlitz. So that'll do it for us here on this pregame. A little bit of a tight setup here today, but nonetheless, excellent time to provide you Drifters baseball on the road. We're going to step aside for the national anthem, but when we come back, it's time for Drifters baseball.
Ceremonial first pitch. The Black Bears are proud to welcome James Knox out onto the mound from Nucor Skyline Group. All right, James, let's see it. It looked good to me. Thank you so much, James. All right, fans. Now please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. We've got a special guest here tonight, former Cowlitz County Sheriff Mark Nelson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark Nelson. Great work this evening, Mark. And now, fans, without further ado, let's play ball.
Welcome back to Story Field. Knight Uretsky, your play-by-play man for the Springfield Drifters here, and we're so happy to be making up the trip to Cowlitz for the very first time here in Longview. It is the first season on the road broadcasting for the Drifters, and this is our first time here at Cowlitz. Let me just tell you, this field here at Lower Columbia College is absolutely beautiful, but we have a great game for WCL baseball. The Drifters are going to be wearing their blue jerseys today, going up against the Cowlitz Black Bears wearing the black uniforms. The Drifters went over their last two series against the Victoria Harbor Cats and then one against the Corvallis Knights. They dropped the series to Yakima Valley, sandwiched in between that, so winners of two of their last three series overall. But they get the series against Cowlitz today, and for the first time between these two teams, Cowlitz took 2 of 3 against the Drifters. That one was down in Springfield, and games 2 and 3 were a doubleheader after the Saturday game got rained out. It was a wild start to the first home series for the Drifters, but we're back up here in Longview. We got a great baseball game against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Jalen Ray, Trevor Hansen, Dane Frazier, Jordan Justice, Cade Chris, Dominic Hellman, Taylor Holder, Matt Quintanar, and Nate Stevens up for the Drifters as the first pitch from Raul Harada comes in for a strike, 0-1. And it's right at 6:34. So Jalen Ray going to get an 0-1 count as the second pitch to him is called for a strike, 0-2. Raul Harada is going to be the right-hander on the mound. He is a pitcher from Hope International University. The 0-2 pitch from Harada outside, and it's now 1-2 to Jalen Ray. Harada 1-2 this season as Jalen Ray looks at a pitch. It misses outside, and it's now 2-2 to Jalen Ray. 1-2 for Harada. This is going to be his 7th game of the season, his 6th start overall. As the 2-2, Ray is going to hit this in the air, sky it out towards shallow right field. Ranging over is the outfielder. Making the catch in right field is Austin Smith, the right fielder. And Jalen Ray is retired. So the first out is a F9, and up to the plate is Trevor Hansen.
Now batting for the Drifters, the second baseman, number 16, Trevor Antonsen.
Cowlitz in the outfield. Callan Halverson is going to be the left fielder. Ben Ziegler is going to be the center fielder. Austin Smith, you just heard, in right field as the first pitch to Trevor Hansen in there for a strike, 0-1. In the infield, it's going to be Nick Miller, Brock Brozette, the shortstop, Brady Majewski, the second baseman, John Olson, the first baseman behind the plate, Alec Arnone. Check swing from Anderson. They appeal, and the umpire says that he went around, and it's 0-2 to the second baseman, Trevor Hansen. One out, top of the first, 0-0 the score. Hansen, the second baseman, at the plate. The 1-2 in there for a strike. Hansen's going to go down with a backwards K. As the first strikeout for Harada gets 2 down here in the top of the first, and up to the plate is Dane Frazier, the right fielder.
Right fielder number 27, Dane Frazier.
Frazier, the Oklahoma Wesleyan product, now transferring there this upcoming year after spending a couple years at Yakima Valley College. First pitch to him misses high, and it's now 1-0 to Dane Frazier. Frazier was up and down in the lineup this season. He's been batting a lot higher in the order, but in that last series against Victoria, he was slated a little lower. He looks to a pitch outside, and it's now 2-0. He had a monstrous series against Yakima where he had back-to-back 3-for-5 performances, but cooled off against Victoria. He'll line one on the ground, a couple of bounces to Bazette at shortstop. He'll slide, throw over to first, and gets Frazier there. 1, 2, 3 they go in the top of the first. We now head to the bottom of the first inning. Cowlitz going to come hit. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Cowlitz.
Fans, it's been a long 12 days since we last saw you all, and we cannot thank you enough for coming out tonight. We know the boys missed you, that's for sure. With that being said, we've got a full lineup of summer fun planned for this weekend. Here's some upcoming games you won't want to miss. Tomorrow, July 9th, is our Kids Money Scramble, presented by Fiber Federal Credit Union. Bring the family and let the kids make some money on the morning trip. All kids 12 and under are welcome to participate, and no registration is necessary. And on Sunday, show up to the park for another Kids Free Sunday. 2 children 12 and under get in for free when accompanied by a big adult. Thank you to our friends at Peace Health and the Daily News for making this possible. We look forward to seeing you all back here for the rest of the series. And if you're looking for a way to cool down this summer, make sure to pick up your Black Bears beer bags available at the merch tent or our draft pouring station on the first base side. Your first beer is free with the purchase of the bat, and you can bring them with you all season long to get $1 off draft beer refills.
Welcome back to Storyfield. Knight Uretsky, your play-by-play man here with the Springfield Drifters, making the trip up to here to Storyfield for this game against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Diego Chavez going to get the start today for the Drifters. Expect him to get a few innings, maybe just one. He'll be the opener today. This is going to be a second start of the year, his 9th appearance overall, a 2.79 ERA for Chavez. And so far this year, every outing but 2, he has been scoreless. Ben Ziegler, the first batter up to the plate, misses high from Chavez, and it's 1-0. Ziegler, Halverson, Canton, the first 1, 2, 3 up for the Black Bears. As the right-hander going to go into the left-hander in Ziegler. In there for a strike, and it's now 1-1. So Diego Chavez, he has 9 2/3 innings so far. Hasn't been a guy that's gone too far as the third pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. Chavez originally from the Ventura area, went to Oxnard College this past year. Here's the 1-2. That one's going to be fouled out towards the left side. And we'll do it again. Chavez, he got the start in Yakima. Ended up not getting a decision in that start. He was the guy that came in, began the game. He was the opener, and then Dylan O'Connor came into the game right after him. O'Connor ended up coming in because, well, his college wanted him to get some time out of the bullpen as the pitch misses away, 2-2. So they wanted him to come out of the bullpen, so they started Chavez for one game and literally just one inning. Wonder if that's going to be the case today as the 2-2 comes in, misses high and inside, and the count's now full. Ziegler this year, one of the best hitters for the Black Bears, a .371 batting average, has 10 RBIs and 4 doubles. Here's the payoff pitch, misses high, and the leadoff man's aboard with a walk. So this will bring up Halverson, the left fielder, with Ziegler at first. Chavez this season, he has 11 walks in those innings. Does strike out a lot, 10. So up to the plate is Halverson. Chavez going to have to work out of the stretch. First pitch in, Halverson swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Saw Halverson a little bit in the series for the Drifters against the Black Bears in the first series at home. Off speed, going to be popped up in the infield. Trevor Anson, the second baseman, and Cade Chris, the first baseman in the area. Chris, the first baseman, under it, makes the catch, and Halverson's retired on the pop-up. And up to the plate is going to be Sam Canton, the DH.
And now batting, your designated hitter number 17 from Gonzaga University.
One out, runner at first for the Black Bears. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 the score. Diego Chavez, the right-hander, on the mound. So Cam, the DH, steps up to the plate. First pitch to him. Fastball that drifts away, and it's now 1-0. Chavez, the right-hander, has a little bit of movement on that two-seam fastball. You'll see it go away from his, or have some run on his fastball. The 1-0 going to be lined towards left field, and it'll get down. Heading over to second is Ziegler. He'll stop there, and it's a single for Canton, and now 2 men are aboard for the Black Bears. So bring up Alex Arnone, the catcher. So Canton over at first, and here's Arnone. Arnone, the catcher today from San Diego Christian. Originally went to Capistrano Valley Christian High School, then went to UC Riverside, transferred to CSUN, and then eventually found his way to San Diego Christian. Quite the traveler, now playing here in the WCL. First pitch to him, he's going to pop it in the air towards the right side of the field, and Cade Chris looks at it as it goes into the bleachers. 0-1. In the outfield for the Drifters, Jordan Justice in left field, Taylor Holder in center field, Dane Frazier in right field. In the infield, Dominic Hellman at third, Jalen Ray the shortstop, Trevor Anson the second baseman, Cade Chris at first base, and Nate Stevens behind the plate, the catcher. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Off speed, fouled back. 0-2. Chavez has worked with a little bit of trouble this season with the Drifters. He's done a great job working his way out of traffic. Again, just 2 outings this year where he's given up runs. Those were back-to-back, but other than that, he's been pretty solid out of the pen. Getting the start today. 0-2 the count, 1 out. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch from Chavez, grounded towards the left side, and it hits the runner. So Arnone will get to first safely. The runner and Ziegler is going to be out as it hit him, and that's 50-50 play. Probably a best decision for him because there's a chance that could have been 2. Arnone, a catcher, not the fastest guy, but instead he'll reach with the fielder's choice. And a play that could have been a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. This will bring up Austin Smith, the right fielder. 2 outs now. Over at second, Canton. Arnone at first. Here's the first pitch in to the lefty hitter. Misses low and away, and it's now 1-0. Smith only one of 4 outfielders for this Black Bears team. Seems like the outfield getting a lot of play for Cowlitz. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, and it's now 2-0. Smith from San Diego goes to University of San Diego. 18 hits on the season so far, 3 of them doubles, and he has 10 RBIs, a .305 batting average. Chavez set at the waist, the 2-0, swing and a miss. Got him in a chase on a pitch low, 2-1. Smith in his last game against the Pickles, it was 2 days ago, he went 2 for 4, so he's swinging a little bit of a hot bat, looking to keep up that momentum. He broke an 0 for 8 streak. Chavez steps off the mound, looks back towards second, now gets back on the bump. Here's the 2-1. Off speed, going to be chopped towards the right side, and it goes foul right of the line. 2-2. Flag right now blowing straight into the home plate side. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. So far, 1 hit today for the Black Bears. Cannon at second, Arnone at first, Chavez on the mound. Nods, here's the pitch. Grounded towards the right side. Anderson, the second baseman, picks it up, throws over to first, and the inning is over. Just 1 hit for the Black Bears as they leave 2 stranded. We'll head to the second inning, 0-0 the score. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Cowlitz.
Toyota is proud to support our Cowlitz Black Bears. One of the nicest experiences each summer is to be with family and friends and watch these talented baseball players. The folks over at Toyota know a thing or two about nice. Anna has been around for over 70 years, and they are a locally family-owned business with a tradition of supporting our community. Anna Toyota, believe in nice. And thank you to Corwin Beverage, a proud sponsor of Cowlitz Black Bears baseball. Thanks for coming out to the ballpark, and thanks for choosing Pepsi Cola, distributed by Corwin Beverage. And don't forget, fans, our partners at Heritage Bank are hosting the second round of Chuck-a-Ball tonight. Head to the merch tent to buy in and have some fun, starting at a buck-a-ball or 6 for $5. All proceeds go to heaven, helping every veteran in need. And now batting for the Springfield Drifters, the left fielder number 36, Jordan Justice.
Top of the second inning, Jordan Justice, Cade Chris, Dominic Hellman, 4, 5, and 6. The meat of the order for the Drifters due up. And Jordan Justice getting the start today at left field. We've seen him there at that left field position and the DH position, but today they're putting him in the lineup and they're having the outfield have a lot of power today. As Jordan Justice is going to line this one up the middle, it goes through on a grounder. And the first pitch he sees, he sends the center field for a single, and the Drifters get their first hit of the game off the bat from Jordan Justice, who just committed to LC State. Really exciting times for him. And here comes Cade Chris, the first baseman today from Tacoma Community College. He has a little bit of history here playing at this field, as the last time he played here, he was able to hit a home run over the wall. That was in the NWAC tournament as he fouls back the first pitch to him, 0-1. Tacoma was in the NWAC tournament this past year. You have to play a couple of games in the postseason. Ultimately, they were not able to come away with the victory as Lynn Benton Community College came away with the NWAC championship. But nonetheless, Cade Chris got to hit the home run for his team in the postseason. The 0-1 in there for a strike from the pitcher in Harada, and it's now quickly 0-2 to Cade Chris. Throw back to first. In there safely is the runner in Jordan Justice. He's keeping an eye on him. Here's the 0-2 to Cade Chris, and that one runs away a little high, 1-2. Cade Chris from Springfield, Oregon. He's had a few hits in the past few games. Had a 2-for-4 performance against Yakima Valley this past weekend. That was in the game closer. As the off-speed comes in, misses high and inside. It's now 2-2 to Cade Chris. Runner at first in Jordan Justice after leadoff single. 0-0 the score. They go back towards first. Jordan Justice there safely. 2-2. Jordan Justice, not the fastest runner there at first. A little bit of speed, but I haven't seen him take off at all this season. Here's the 2-2 to Cade Chris. Gets a piece of it, fouls it back to another one.
Chris this past season at Tacoma hit 282, 9 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Went 35-12, where the West
2-2 the count, nobody out. Jordan Justice at first, right on the mound. Here's the pitch to Chris, and he'll foul it away one more time. Cade Chris, a real humble guy himself. Asking him about the home run he hit here. Seemed like another hit to him. Kind of all blurs together. Here's the 2-2. Lined left side, over the head of the third baseman, but foul. Almost trouble, but instead, Chris is going to head back to the plate. Two the count. Runner at first. Here's the pitch to Cade Chris. Going to be popped up in the air in the infield towards the right side of the field. Olsen and Majewski over in the area. Olsen, the first baseman, calls him off. He'll make the catch. And Chris is out on a pop-up as Harada wins the battle against the first baseman. And upcoming is Dominic Hellman. So here's Dominic Hellman. He has the ability to change this game with just one swing. One of the most naturally gifted athletes in the Pacific Northwest. Just has the pop on the bat that is just unteachable. First pitch to Hellman. Runs away. Off speed, 1-0. Dominic Hellman on Monday got his first career home run with the Springfield Drifters. He muscled it over the left field wall, and man, did he send it over the wall. It was an absolute moonshot, 109 miles per hour off the bat for Dominic Hellman, and man, oh man, was that a huge hit for him. Started the turnaround for the Drifters as they came back from 4-0 down. As the second pitch misses below the knees, and it's 2-0. We've been seeing the pop from Dominic Hellman in the entire batting practices. His first time he took BP, he sent 3 of the 5 balls he saw over the wall. Fouls this one off, and it's now 2-1. We had been waiting to see it happen in an actual game. He had gotten a double, he had gotten a triple prior to that, but he had yet to get a home run. Finally did, and it was a beauty to see. 2-1, slider outside. It's now 3-1 to the incoming freshman. Hellman will be going to U of O next year, where he is one of their top recruits. An All-American from the state of Washington. The 3-1 looked at. And it misses outside, low and away, and Hellman's aboard with the walk. Jordan Justice will head over to second, and the Drifters have their first runner in scoring position of the game.
Center fielder number 30, Taylor Holder.
So up to the plate is Taylor Holder now. Justice at second, and over at first is Dominic Hellman. One out in the inning, top of the second. 0-0 the score. First pitch to Taylor Holder. He takes a call to strike, a slider from Harada. And it's 0-1. Taylor Holder, he's on a little bit of a hitless streak. He's gone 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, and 0 for 3 his last 4 games. But man, he's been barreling up some balls. Just hasn't gotten them to fall. The 0-1 to Holder, off speed, he waits and swings right through it. Quickly 0-2 to the outfielder. Holder today getting the start at center field, his first time getting that start in center field. He played all of last season with the Yakima Valley Pippins, where he was the center fielder for Yakima. It's been a crowded outfielding core for the Drifters as he fouls off this one, and still 0-2. See another pitch. Holder's currently in the transfer portal, but he's trying to make a push to be a center fielder. At Oregon, he was a right fielder, just how the outfielding core shaped up for him to get some time. The 0-2 fastball runs away, and it's 1-2, and it's been a similar story with the Drifters here this season. It's been a crowded middle outfield core of Cannon Reeder and Mac Moyer, and their abilities to play center field. Today, Holder finally gets his shot at that center field position. And he swings through an off-speed pitch, and that's going to be a strikeout for Harada, his second of the game. Now there's 2 gone in the second. So bring up Matt Quintanar 2 outs, 2 runners on. Jordan Justice at second, Dominic Hellman over at first. Quintanar, an incoming freshman at Pepperdine, DHing today. First pitch to Quintanar, runs away, and it's now 1-0. Quintanar, only 1 hit on the year. He's 1 for 8, does have a run. Bench hit in the game against Victoria on Monday, got 1 at bat. Ended up popping up. That was with the bases loaded in the 10th. Had a chance to walk it off, just unable to execute. The 1-0, Quintanar looks at a pitch high, and it's now 2-0. Just looking at the batting order today for the Drifters, Quintanar getting the start at the 8th spot. Seems like Coach Richard wanted a lot of power in this lineup as Quintanar takes 3-0. Up and down this order, it seems like it's the power hitters for the Drifters. Definitely have guys hitting for contact in Jalen Ray and Trevor Anson at the top of the order, but a lot of pop on this lineup. Quintanar takes strike, and it's now 3-1. And having Quintanar at the 8th spot is definitely part of that. He has one of the better swings on this team, and he's still so young, super raw. We're heading off to Pepperdine. Time's going to be called. 3-1 the count, 2 outs. Justice standing at second, Hellman over at first. Here's the 3-1. Quintanar takes high. The base is going to be loaded for the Drifters. So Jordan Justice singles to start it off. Chris popped up. Hellman walked. Holder struck out. And now Quintanar a walk. 5 pitches, and now the bases are loaded. In steps Nate Stevens. He's getting the start at catcher today. He's been up and down in this lineup. They've been trying to get him back in rhythm. Started the year off with a great start. Had the walk-off hit as he takes a pitch outside, 1-0. He's been identified as a leader of this team, but his success on the field just really hasn't come. He's striking out at a really high rate this season and has been struggling to pull together some hits. The 1-0 misses inside to the lefty hitter in Stevens, and it's now 2-0. It's a big opportunity for Stevens here. Has a chance to really break out of that slump he's been having. Get a big hit here with the bases loaded. You carry that momentum. As Stevens grounds it towards the right side, Olsen, the first baseman, picks it up. He'll run and tap on first, and the bases loaded threat is eliminated. They're all left stranded as just 1 hit for Jordan Justice and the Drifters. We head to the bottom of the second, 0-0 the score. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Cowlitz.
Hey, Black Bears fans, we are excited to bring back the Home Run Bargain Blast. Thanks to the Longview Grocery Outlet, when the Black Bears score, you score. Every game that features a Black Bears home run, you will receive a free case of bottled water with any purchase at your Longview Grocery Outlet. We'd also like to take this time for our second inning shout-outs. Over there on the party deck are the good folks from the New Core Skyline Crew. How you doing out there? And fans, we'd also like to take this time to recognize 2 very important fans in attendance tonight. The first is longtime host parent Bev Bird, who celebrated her birthday while we were on the road on July 3rd. Happy birthday, Bev. And secondly, we've got another host parent whose birthday happens to be today. He's the host parent for Ryan Hardman and Alec Arnone. Happy birthday, Jake Stouch. If you happen to see either of them, make sure to wish them a happy birthday.
Bottom of the second inning, the Springfield Drifters currently tied with the Cowlitz Black Bears 0-0. Diego Chavez back on the mound. He's pitching into the second inning, and he's set to face off against Nick Miller, John Olson, Brock Rosette. As the first pitch to Nick Miller misses, and it's 1-0 from Chavez. Chavez in that first inning allowed 2 batters to get aboard, as well as another batter that got on via the walk. As this one's going to be grounded towards the left side. Jalen Ray can't field it. It's going to be an error for the shortstop. It looked like he was coming in to field the chopper and just absolutely missed the ball with his glove. And aboard is Miller with the error.
Now batting the first baseman from Gonzaga University.
Up to the plate now, John Olson, the first baseman. And man, did John Olson have a series against the Springfield Drifters. 12 of 13 his first time against Springfield. Just could not get out, it felt like. As Chavez throws a pitch that misses low, but no of these. It's 1-0. Olson from Ventura College, originally from Beaverton. That first weekend, it was just so impressive. 5 for 5, 2 runs in game 1, 2 for 3 in game 2, and then 4 for 4 in game 3. Pitch misses. The back pick from Stevens in there safely at first is Miller. 2-0. I think the most impressive thing about that performance was that game number 3 had multiple go-ahead hits in the game, and up with 4 RBIs total. The 2-0 inside to Olson, and it's now 3-0. He was the WCL Player of the Week after that 12 for 13 performance. Miller at first, 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch from Chavez. Low and inside, and Olson's aboard with the 4-pitch walk. Up to the plate now, Brock Rosette, the shortstop. Olson at first, over a second is Nick Miller. Bozette from Gonzaga. Here's the first pitch. He's going to show bunt, gets it down the third base line, but it goes foul. And Bozette's going to have to head back to the plate and see another pitch. Bozette this past year, or this year with the Black Bears, 267 batting average. A couple of home runs, including one in his game yesterday.
Third baseman Hellman playing in, as well as the first baseman Chris expecting the bunt.
Here's the 0-1, showing bunt again. Taken, called a strike. 0-2. Bozette arguing with the umpire, shakes his head a couple of times. He'll have to head back into the box.
Now he's going to have to protect 14 strikeouts over 23 games for the sophomore.
Chavez set at the waist. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece of it. Do the 0-2 again. It's quite the setup here at Cowlitz. Especially broadcasting in the booth. We have a broadcaster right next to me broadcasting. Currently standing. There is no chairs here. I have about as much room as my laptop. Not much else. In a corner, can't see half of the field. The 0-2, curveball inside, and it's now 1-2. Definitely the most unique broadcast setup I've been a part of. Never stood before for a broadcast, especially not being offered a chair. 1-2 the count, nobody out. The pitch to Bozette, he's going to ground it towards the right side. Anson sliding at second as he falls down, throws it away from Chavez at first. Sprinting in is Nick Miller, and the Black Bears take the lead early on, 1-0.
The Black Bears are on
Disastrous play for the Drifters there. It was a chopper to the right side of the field. Cade Chris, the first baseman, came over, couldn't field it. Anson at second slid right past it. He threw it away. Anson did, and Miller was able to sprint home. Ever to third is Olson. At first is Bozette. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And here's Brady Majewski. First pitch to Majewski, line to Trevor Anson right at second base. He'll make the catch right on the line, and the first out is recorded. Both Olson and Bozette head back to their bases safely. It's a quick out. Chavez able to bounce back with the line out. 1-0 Cowlitz leads, bottom of the second inning. Top of the order coming up, Ben Ziegler, the center fielder. Today, a walk back in the first. His second at bat in 2 innings. The lefty stands in to face off against Chavez. First pitch to Ziegler, high and away, and it's now 1-0. Already in this inning, 2 errors for Springfield. This is a defense that has been consistently one of the worst in the WCL as Chavez throws a pitch outside. 2-0. They've been in the bottom 5 in the WCL in defense, and again today, a couple of errors. Had a few errors in game number 3 against Victoria that ended up costing them. They were also able to capitalize off an error against Victoria as they were able to score a run after a runner reached via an error. But able to take advantage of this error was Cowlitz. Fouled away by Ziegler. 2-1. Chavez shakes, now comes set at the waist. Here's the 2-1. Slider in there for a strike, 2-2. The Drifters' first look at Ziegler, as he's had consistent playing time with Cowlitz since the series. A lot of the guys that were in the lineup for Cowlitz in that first series aren't with the team anymore. It's been the series so far, as this one's going to be popped up towards the left side of the field. Dominic Hellman, the third baseman, under it, makes the catch. A little bit of trouble with that one as he was in the shade, but Hellman able to make the catch, and the second out's recorded. The big infield pop-up for Chavez prevents another run from coming in as he gets a line out and a fly out in the infield, and it brings up Callan Halverson. Halverson so far, a pop-up to first base. Stands in with runners on the corners, 2 outs. So far, 1 run in off of an error. First pitch sent out towards the right center field. Sprinting back, and Holder and the Dane Frazier can't get to it. 1 run's going to score, and Halverson singles it in. It's an RBI single for the left fielder, and Cowlitz extends the lead 2-0. Bozette heads over to third on the play. First to third he goes on the single. So 2-0 the score. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. First pitch is going to be grounded up the middle, and that'll go through. It'll be another RBI single for Sam Canton, his second single today. And it's 3-0 for the Black Bears. Keith Hessler now going to go talk things over with Diego Chavez. Man warming up in the bullpen for the Drifters. Hessler, the pitching coach from Everett Community College. He's been the pitching coach with the Drifters, and he takes the ball out of Chavez's hand. Hands it over to Nate Stevens, and Chavez is going to give his teammates a fist bump as he'll be heading towards the dugout. We're going to have a new pitcher on the mound, and it looks like it's going to be Dylan O'Connor, meaning that we'll step aside and take a break, and we'll come back when we find out who the new pitcher is for the Drifters.
Now warming up on the mound for the Drifters, the right-hander number 32, Dylan O'Connor. And now batting the catcher, number 27, Alec Arnone.
New pitcher on the mound is going to be Dylan O'Connor. He'll come in to replace Diego Chavez after Chavez had 3 runs come in. They credited the first play with Jalen Ray as a hit, not an error. That was me disagreeing with the officials here, but it is 0-1. So Chavez, in inning 2/3, only could get 2 outs here in the second. He gave up 3 runs so far, and we'll see how many more come in, as there's a runner right now at second and a runner at first. Second pitch from O'Connor misses below the knees, and it's 1-1. Chavez 6 hits overall. Walked 2 batters. So as of right now, 3 earned runs for Chavez, and this brings away to Dylan O'Connor. The 1-1 hit foul right side, 1-2. So O'Connor, this is going to be his 7th outing of the year. He's had 4 starts. This is his 3rd outing out of the pen, and this is something that you'll see a lot of from Dylan O'Connor for the remainder of the year. Got a lot of starts at the beginning of the year, but he'll be heading off to Cal State San Bernardino, and at CSU San Bernardino, they want him to come out of the pen a little bit, try to get some of those reps, and so that's what he's been doing with the Drifters as the 1-2 gets past Nate Stevens. Now 2 runners are going to be in scoring position for the Black Bears as Alverson heads over to third, Canton over to second. Both Halverson and Canton have speed on the base paths. So now Alec Arnone at the plate, 2-2 the count, 2 outs.
With a 2-2 count, 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Dylan O'Connor trying to limit the damage. Arnone, the 8th batter of the inning. The 2-2 popped in the air towards the right side of the field. Trevor Anson, the second baseman, sprints it out for it. It's in shallow right, and Dane Frazier, the right fielder, calls him off for the final out. But that'll do it for the bottom of the second as 3 runs come in on just 5 hits. We head to the 3rd inning. 3-0 Black Bears lead. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Cowlitz.
to one of our sponsors, Northwest Food Service. Your preferred food service partner for the last 25 years and the proud concession supplier for the Cowlitz Black Bears. Eat, drink, and be local. And also thank you to K-Log and KUKN. Your locally owned radio stations are proud partners of Fiber Family Wednesdays. Home Team 100.7 K-Log is the area's only full-time live and local news team. And then Cookin' Country's #1 for today's country and your all-time favorites. Also the #1 station in the area. Back to the top of the lineup for the Drifters. Here's the shortstop, #2, Jalen Ray.
Top of the lineup, 2 up for the Drifters as Jalen Ray looks at the first pitch from Raul Harada. It's called a strike. 0-1. 3-0. Cowlitz currently leading the Springfield Drifters here in the top of the third. It was a 3-run bottom of the second for the Black Bears to take the lead. As an off-speed pitches high to Jalen Ray, and it's now 1-1. Jalen Ray, first time up, he flew out to right field. Now digging in for the second time today. The 1-1 comes in, slider called a strike on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Jalen Ray getting the start at shortstop today. Had a ball hit right back up to him. Looked like an error to me, but they credited it as a hit here as a look at a pitch outside, and it's now 2-2 to him. Just looked like a tough play for him at that shortstop position, and he came into the summer listed as an outfielder, but we've seen him a lot more at that shortstop position. Fouls off the 2-2, and we'll do it again. Gotta think maybe that play was a result of his lack of experience in the infield. Nonetheless, he's done a great job defensively at times. Grounds this one to the third base side. Nick Miller picks it up along the line, throws to first, but Jalen Ray beats it out. It's an infield single for Jalen Ray, and the leadoff man's aboard for the Drifters as hit streak's extended. Jalen Ray, a quick guy, able to beat out the throw, and he'll bring up Trevor Anson. Nobody out, runner at first. Drifters hitting in the top of the third. Raul Harada on the mound as the second pitch comes in to Anson. Going to ground it to the left side. Bozette goes to 2 for 1. They go to first, and it's a double play. After Ray beats it out on an infield single, it's a double play with Trevor Anson, and in comes Dane Frazier. 2 outs, nobody on. Frazier comes up, 0 for 1 with the ground out to shortstop. Harada back in the lineup. The first pitch to Frazier, lifted foul. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Frazier, and that one runs inside, and it's 1-1. Harada goes to Hope International, went 5-1 there this past year. Transferred there from Cypress College, where he spent 2 years at Cypress. As the 1-1, Frazier is going to send this deep towards center field. Going back is Ziegler at the track, looking up, and it's off the wall. Frazier's digging for 2 as the throw comes in to second, not in time. And Frazier's aboard with a 2-out double here in the third. Dead center's 387, and so that one went just off the wall to the right of it, one of the deeper parts in this ballpark. Right off the Cowlitz sign in center. And then comes Jordan Justice, the left fielder today. Singled to the first pitch he saw back in the second. As Frazier at second, here's the first pitch to Jordan Justice. Slider catches him. 0-1. So Frazier, a 2-out double, puts himself in scoring position as the Drifters trail 3-0. Jordan Justice, another big hack, but he cuts right through it, and it's 0-2. Again, Jordan Justice went to Everett Community College, just announced his transfer to Lewis Clark State, one of the premier NAIA schools. Curveball inside, and it's now 1-2. Jordan Justice, originally from Marysville, Washington, so he's playing back in his home state today here in Longview. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Jordan Justice chases a pitch outside. Murata picks up strikeout number 3 as there's 2 hits for the Drifters, but one is left stranded at second, and Dane Frazier. We head to the bottom of the third, 3-0. The Black Bears lead. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Cowlitz.
Take a fun photo and post it online so we can see it. Tag Cowlitz Black Bears on Facebook and Instagram, and Cowlitz Bears on Twitter. Hashtag it Bears of Summer. And go Black Bears! Cowlitz Black Bears selfies are brought to you this season by Dream Dentistry. They offer sedation dentistry, allowing them to complete multiple procedures at once, saving you time. Dream Dentistry is welcoming new patients today. Find them online at mydreamteam.com. Dream Dentistry, one expert office, one painless visit. And just a reminder, our partners at Heritage Bank are hosting the second round of Chuck-a-Ball tonight, which will be happening at the bottom of the 7th. So you can go over to the merch table, buy a ball for $1 a piece, or 6 for $5. All proceeds go to helping every veteran in need. And now batting for the Black Bears, your right fielder, number 28, Austin Smith.
Welcome back to Story Field, bottom of the third inning. The Cowlitz Black Bears currently winning 3-0 as Dylan O'Connor's back on the mound. First pitch to Austin Smith, bunted away, foul, 0-1. Austin Smith, Nick Miller, John Olson due up for the Cowlitz Black Bears as batters 5, 6, and 7 for Cowlitz. O'Connor back on the mound after replacing Diego Chavez last inning as the 0-1 comes in, lined up the middle. Jalen Ray trying to pick it at shortstop. He drops the ball, and aboard is going to be Austin Smith with an infield single. So it's a hit for Austin Smith, 7th hit today for Cowlitz. Really having an offensive explosion, just 3 hits for Springfield. But the Black Bears have gotten it done. Up to the plate is going to be Nick Miller, who reached on a hit his first time up. As he'll show bunts it foul into the screen. 0-1. He was the batter that was up and hit that weird ball to Jalen Ray that I credited as an error, and the scorebook credited as a hit. It was a chopper up the middle. It looked like Ray couldn't pick it, but they credited it as a hit as it found its way into the outfield. The 0-1 bounces in. Stevens keeps it in front of him. 1-1. Stevens has already had a pass ball today behind the plate. Had a couple of those in the game against Victoria 2 days ago. Ultimately, he was able to figure it out, finish the game strong defensively. Had a couple of throw-outs behind the plate. Pitch inside. It's now 2-1 to John Olson, or excuse me, to Nick Miller. Olson on deck. Connor nods, comes set, 2 on the count. Nobody out, runner at first. Miller's going to chop it towards the left side, coming in his helmet. He has no play at second. He'll throw over to first. Christ is there, and Nick Miller's out on a ground out. Heading over to second is Austin Smith. He showed bunt initially, and that goes down basically like a bunt. And here comes John Olson. So runner in scoring position for the Black Bears. They lead 3-0 in the bottom of the third. Smith standing there at second, and Olson at the plate.
Smith on at second.
His first time up, he reached via the walk.
Right-hander takes a look back at second.
First pitch to Olson, fouls it back, 0-1. Yeah, and John Olson was named WCL Player of the Week after his first weekend against the Drifters. It was that first weekend overall for Cowlitz. Springfield had played 3 games up in Bellingham prior to that series. Cowlitz came down. They played game number 1 on Friday, and then they played game number 2 and 3 on the Sunday after Saturday was rained out. Back-to-back 7-inning games on that Sunday. And Olson had 12 hits and 13 at-bats. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. I remember that first game, he went 5 for 5, had his 6th at-bat late in that game. It was an 11-6 game, so there was a lot of at-bats and a lot of runs overall. But Olson came up for the 6th time and ended up getting a board via a full count walk. There's a question whether he was going to get out or get a hit. It was neither. He got a board via the walk. Stayed 5 for 5 as the 0-2 is going to be lined out towards right field. And it's right down the line. They issue it foul.
Chris Castro, the home plate umpire, making the call. That was for sure.
Castro, the umpire at home, made the call foul. A lot of people here in this building thought that one was going to be fair.
Said it was looking for his 3rd double on the year. Now he'll get the chance to dig back in.
So heading back to second is Austin Smith. 1 out in the inning. Olson at the plate with an 0-2 count.
Olson trying to extend his hit streak to 6 games. Pick up his 4th RBI in his last 6. 3 for 8 against the Pickles. Seen the bat come back to life.
Olson takes a deep breath, gets back in the box. 0-2 the count.
Throughout parts of June.
O'Connor working out of the stretch.
For his last 10.
Here's the 0-2.
Pitch. He's at a line.
Bounces in. Stevens keeps it in front of him, but heading over to third is Austin Smith. The ball into the dirt just long enough that Stevens couldn't get it in time, and Smith heads over to third. Runner now 90 feet away from scoring as Stevens lets another runner advance via a ball in the dirt. The infield will now come in for the Drifters as they trail 3-0. They're looking to prevent any more runs from scoring. So the infield now all on the grass. The 1-2 to Olson. Swings at a ball in the dirt, but he fouls it off just barely, and he'll see another pitch.
Nasty breaking ball from O'Connor, and somehow, some way, Olson just able to get into it. Brock Bozette is on deck.
Here's the 1-2 one more time. Olson gets back in the box. Here's the pitch. Runs low and away. Stevens just able to get the glove on that one. 2-2. Looked a little awkward from Stevens there, trying to keep the ball in front of him. His palm was faced outward. A lot of the times you'd like to see the catcher try to flip his wrist a little bit, field that ball a little better. Here's the 2-2. Grounded towards the left side. Holman breaks it down at third, throws across, and gets Olson just in time. The fans here not agreeing with that call, but Hellman knocked it down at third, able to collect it, fire it over to third, or first, excuse me, as he gets the runner. Back-to-back ground outs. Runner at third, 2 outs, and here's Brock Brosette.
Was that 1 for 1? After an infield single, first pitch to him.
First pitch, fouled back by Bozette, 0-1. First time Bozette was up, he had a ball that kind of was in no man's past him. Trevor Anson slid at second, able to collect it just momentarily, but he was falling to the ground, threw it away as he was trying to get it to Chavez. This one's going to be chopped out towards right field, and it finds its way into the outfield. Coming in to score is Austin Smith. It's an RBI single for Brock Bozette, and it's 4-0 for the Black Bears.
And now batting for your Black Bears, the second baseman, number 15, Brady Majewski.
So bring up Brady Majewski, the second baseman. Bozette over at first, 2 outs, 4-0. The Black Bears lead. O'Connor throws. This one's going to be bunted up the third base line. Hellman comes in, fires over to first, and in there safely is Majewski. It's a single for Majewski, the second baseman, and that's a guy that Coach Richards for the Drifters was very highly on. Said that Majewski's a guy that just really does everything the right way. Beautiful bunt there for Majewski. Bozette heads over to second. Third hit of the inning for the Black Bears. They're up to 9 hits total. This is a team that had 9 hits in their first 2 games against Portland and already have 9 hits, and we're not even through 3 innings here in Longview. 4-0 the score. Up to the plate is the leadoff hitter, Ben Ziegler. First pitch misses. And away, 1-0. Ziegler so far 0 for 1 with a pop out to the third baseman, Hellman. Prior to that, he reached via the walk. Here's the 1-0. That one misses low and inside, and it's now 2-0. On deck is Halverson, who already had an RBI single last inning. Ziegler up for the 3rd time in 3 innings. Here's the 2-0. That one's fouled back, and it's 2-1. Springfield today making the trip up to Cowlitz. Bus left around 1 o'clock. Had to get to the ballpark around 12:15. Had a lot of traffic today in Portland on the way up. Ended up sitting in traffic for over an hour. We didn't get to the hotel until about 4:30. Maybe a little bit after 4:30, had to be back on the bus by 5:10, 5:15. Come over to the park. Real quick turnover. Pitch is in there for a strike, and it's now 2-2. Right now, it just feels like the Drifters really haven't come to the park yet. So they trail 4-0 and have given up 4 runs and 9 hits. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, and he went around. Stevens collects it, throws over to first, and the inning is over. O'Connor gets strikeout number 1, but 1 run comes in for the Black Bears. 3 hits overall in the inning as they leave 2 stranded, 1 at first, 1 at second. We head to the 4th inning, 4-0. Cowlitz leading. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Longview.
Participating. Back to you, Luke.
Thank you, Jenna. Little brother wins this one. Also, thank you to Baker Lumber Company, one of our game sponsors. Build with Baker. Baker Lumber Company is at 311 Pine Street in Kelso. Don't live through summer with an old rotten deck. Build with Baker. Also, thank you to Weather Guard. They keep the weather on the outside, and no one protects your investment better. Call Weather Guard at 577-7200. Weather Guard. And make sure to stop by our merchandise tent and join in for Chuck-a-Ball. Buy in at a popular ball or 6 for $5. And now batting for the Drifters.
Top of the 4th inning, 4-0. Cowlitz currently leading the Springfield Drifters. Cade Christ, Dominic Hellman, Taylor Holder due up for the Springfield Drifters, 5, 6, and 7. First pitch from Raul Harada, fouled back, 0-1. Harada's been able to work really efficiently. Last inning he gave up 2 hits, but also got a double play with Trevor Ranson. Able to get out of the inning without giving up a run as Cade Chris wears one on the shoulder, and he'll head to first. Man, Cade Chris, it feels like he's a magnet at sometimes with the way that he gets hit by a pitch. Leadoff man's aboard. Ever since I had that conversation about asking him if he leaned into pitches at all like we had seen with Hellman, which he does not. He's been hit 3 times. Here steps Hellman. It's the first pitch to him, called a strike, 0-1. Hellman so far reached via the walk. Stands in with a runner at first, his team trailing 4-0. Throwing back is Harada, and there safely is Chris. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Hellman. Pops it in the air right side. Olson and Smith giving chase. Olson looking up, and it goes out of play. Foul ball. 0-2 to Dominic Hellman, and we were talking about it. So Dominic Hellman, he had been called for leaning into a pitch at 1 at-bat. Then another at-bat, they said that he leaned into a pitch, which didn't hit him, and they still called him out on it. It was a 3-2 pitch, and it took away for a walk. Hellman fouls this back, and it's 0-2. Heavy power lineup today for Springfield, and Dominic Hellman, the leader of the power pack. Throw back to first. Cade Christ in there safely. Man, Harada's been really keeping an eye on Cade Christ, who is not a speed threat at all. Here's the 0-2. Low slider away. 1-2 to Dominic Hellman. Hellman, an incoming freshman. Hasn't seen too many sliders like Harada, but he'll line this one towards left field, and he'll get down. Alverson a little bit of trouble in left as it finds its way to the wall. Digging into third and tapping on it, being sent is Cade Christ. The throw comes in well in time, but the ball pops free. Cade Christ is on home plate, and he's in there safely as he was able to kick the ball free. Almost a relay from left field, but instead Chris slides through it. The ball popped free, and the Drifters are on the board. It is 4-1. So Hellman, an RBI double. Cade Christ comes around and gets in there safely despite the throw being well in front of him. So here's Taylor Holder, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He'll barrel up a ball towards center field, going back towards the wall is Ziegler at the track. He'll make the catch. Tagging to third is Hellman. And the throw gets past the cutoff man, but Olson there to back it up. Long fly ball by Holder. So Ziegler in center field, able to make the catch along the wall. Up to the plate is Matt Quintanar, the DH. 1 out, 4-1, the Black Bears leading. Quintanar today reached with a walk back in the second. First pitch, low, and it's 1-0. Quintanar just 1 hit so far this season with the Drifters. Yeah, hit number 2 right here would be huge. Drifters looking to cut the lead in half after falling behind early, 4-0. Quintanar chops it foul, 1-1. Even in the situation with Quintanar, for a young incoming freshman, you just love to see him put it in play. Try to score that runner at third in Hellman. Hellman not the fastest, but with his length being 6'6", don't need much as Quintanar ground to the third base side, gets down, but Miller just gets enough to keep Hellman at third. It's going to be an error on the third baseman in Miller as he got the ball down on the ground but couldn't field it correctly. Now mound meeting for the Black Bears. There is a pitcher warming up for Cowlitz. And that'll be it for Harada. So we'll step aside and come back when we find out who the new pitcher is. Runners on the corners, 4-1 the score. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
attention, please. Now warming up on the mound for your Black Bears, the right-hander from Umpqua Community College, number 31, Carson Angaroff.
One out, runners on the corners for the Springfield Drifters. Top of the fourth inning, 4-1 the score, and the new pitcher on the mound is Carson Angaroff. He's the right-hander from Umpqua Community College. He'll come into the game replacing Raul Harada. First pitch to Stevens, he pops it up. Going back is Arnone, the catcher, but he slides and can't field it. 0-1. Had the mascot for the Cowlitz Black Bears peeking in. Trying to throw me off a little bit. Stevens at the plate. His first time up, grounded out to the right side of the infield. Stevens again continuing to struggle. Comes up again with another big opportunity to get out of that slump. Just needs one big hit to get him rolling. He'll show bunt, gets it down the first base line. It might be a suicide squeeze attempt, and it is as Hellman slides in safely to home plate. Hellman had to wait a second for Olsen, the first baseman, to pick it up and head back to first. But coming in to score is Hellman, and the lead is now 4-2 for the Black Bears.
Keaton-Ar advances up to second with the top of the order coming up.
Top of the order is the shortstop, number 2.
So it's an RBI sack squeeze for Nate Stevens.
Stevens able to get the bunt down. He picks up RBI number 7. Ready and ready match.
Up to the plate, Jalen Ray as the first pitch to Ray inside, 1-0. Jalen Ray today, 1 for 2 with a single in his last at bat. Back in the third, has a runner at second as Matt Keaton-Ar. His team trailing 4-2. 1-0, Ray gonna single this back up the middle. It gets into the outfield. They're gonna stop Keaton-Ar at third. The throw came in from Ziegler in center. Jalen Ray now 2 for 3 today. He's at first, Keaton-Ar at third. Runners at the corners for the Drifters. So bring up Trevor Anson. 5th hit of the game for Springfield. The Springfield team that has struggled with adversity throughout the year. They're able to come back against Victoria, and right now they're trying to come back against Cowlitz as the first pitch to Anson swung on and missed, 0-1. Anson today, 0 for 2, a strikeout looking and a ground out into a double play. Real poor start offensively for Trevor Anson. The 0-1, off speed high, 1-1. Trevor Anson on Monday had the walk-off hit for the Drifters in that 5-4 victory against Victoria. Came up with the bases loaded, 1 out, and was able to single it through to left field. The 1-1 looked at, called a strike, 1-2.
able to bounce back after
Probably his biggest hit of the season,
28.
as he struggled to hit the ball at the plate. He's batting below 200 after hitting over 300 this past year at Seattle University. Here's the 1-2.
1-2.
Looked at, got him looking.
Corner for strike number 3.
And that's going to be a strikeout for Angeroth, as he leaves 2 runners on for the Drifters, but 2 runs come in for Springfield as they get 2 hits overall. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 4-2 the score. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters Live Shoot.
And the Cowlitz Black Bears would like to take this moment to thank our military and first responders for their service. If you are active military or a veteran, law enforcement, fire, or medical personnel, please stand and be recognized here tonight. And make sure you give them a healthy hand, folks. These are our heroes. And just a reminder, there is still time to sign up for the second round of Chuck-a-Ball, sponsored by our partners at Heritage Bank. Head over to the merch tent to buy and have some fun, starting at $1 a ball or 6 for $5. Stay until the bottom of the 7th to see if you're the lucky winner. All proceeds go to heaven, helping every veteran in need. And now batting for your Black Bears, the left fielder number 13, Cowlitz Black.
Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-2. The Black Bears lead as the first pitch to Halverson. The left fielder's grounded to the left side, and Dominic Hellman knocks it down, but can't field it correctly, That's going to be an error on Dominic Hellman. And man, Dominic Hellman's had a few errors so far at that third base position. There, another one.
Now batting the designated hitter number 17, Sam.
Second error of the day for Springfield, and they'll bring up Sam Canton, the DH, who's 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. They'll show bunt the first pitch, gets it foul, 0-1. So Canton, the DH today, batting in the 3 spot. Has a lot of speed at the plate, DHing today. So Halverson over at first after the error. O'Connor back on the mound, his second inning of relief. Pitch comes in, he reaches for it, sends it towards the left side. Jordan Justice sprinting in at left, and he dumbles, but he makes the catch. It was a tough play in left field for Jordan Justice as he sprinted in, made the catch, and tumbled at the same time. Was able to keep the ball in the mitt throughout the tumble. Halverson back at first, Canton out on a fly out. First out is recorded, bottom of the 4th. 4-2, the Black Bears lead. Up to the plate now, Alec Arnone, the catcher. 1 for 2 today with a single back in the first. O'Connor throws in, and the first pitch is lifted towards center field. Moving back a few steps is Taylor Holder. He'll come in now, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out to Arnone, and 2 are gone here in the 4th, with Halverson over at first via the air.
That'll bring up Austin Smith here with 2 gone.
So bring up Austin Smith, the right fielder, 1 for 2 with a run back in the 3rd. He was able to single and come around last inning. He was the lone run for the Black Bears after they scored 3 runs in the 2nd. Just 1 last inning. The Drifters responded with 2 of their own in the top of the 4th. Got the lead in half, 4-2. O'Connor fires in a strike outside part of the plate, 0-1. Dylan O'Connor starting to settle in a little bit, get some more weak contact. We saw Dylan O'Connor go 9 innings a few outings prior as he throws an off-speed away. 1-1. And that whole complete game is first complete game with the Springfield Drifters. In fact, first complete game in program history. The 1-1 line towards center field. Taylor Holder comes in, fields it on the line, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. Halverson reaches via the air, and then 3 straight balls hit towards the outfield, all caught out. As we head to the 5th inning, 4-2. Cowlitz currently leading. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
This time, we'd like to say thank you to another one of our great sponsors, Cascade Natural Gas. Serving more than 294,000 customers in 96 communities, Cascade Natural Gas is in our community to serve clean, affordable natural gas. And remember to call 811 before you dig. Cascade Natural Gas, online at cngc.com. And thank you to your locally owned McDonald's in Longview and Woodland. Try the new crispy chicken sandwiches and delicious meals for delicious items. Order and pay with the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Top of the 5th inning, 4-2. Cowlitz currently leading the Springfield Drifters. Dane Frazier, Jordan Justice, Cade Chris, 3, 4, and 5 up for the Drifters as the first pitch from Carson Engeroth comes in for a strike. 0-1. Dane Frazier today, 1 for 2 with a double on his last at bat. Second pitch in, slider low and away, and it's 1-1 to Dane Frazier. That ball he hit was to dead center. Was able to get it off the wall, and he headed to second safely with 2 outs. Wasn't able to come in. Fouls it back, and it's now 1-1. Feels like Dane Frazier, when he's on the road, he swings the bat a little bit better. Had a really good performance against Bend earlier this season. Heated up against Yakima and off to a good start today against Cowlitz. The 1-2 going to be lined towards left field, and it'll get down. Frazier's going to be aboard with his second hit today, a single, and that's how the Drifters kick things off here in the 5th. So Frazier 2 for 3. And again, his road numbers have to be really, really good. Definitely have to look into that after tonight. Jordan Justice will come up to the plate, 1 for 2 today with a single back in the second. As Frazier over at first as his team trails 4-2. Looks at a pitch, called a strike right at the letters. 0-1. Jordan Justice last inning defensively made a nice play. Able to make a catch, tumble, and hang on to the ball. The 0-1 to Jordan Justice almost hit him. Rubbed him up inside. 1-1. Jordan Justice, one of the best power hitters for the Drifters. Say that before Dominic Hellman arrived to the team, Jordan Justice had the most pop on the bat. As the 1-1 he waits for, sends it towards center field. Ziegler goes back a few steps, and he loses it. Tapping on second and heading to third is Frazier. Jordan Justice into second, standing up. And it just looked like Ziegler couldn't find it in center field. He turned the shoulders a couple of times, but ultimately it went right past him. It's a double for Jordan Justice, the 7th hit today, and now 2 runners are in scoring position for the Drifters. So Jordan Justice now 2 for 3. Frazier over to second, and now Cade Chris comes up to the plate. And if the Drifters get a hit here, we could be tied. 4-2 the score. Cade Chris today 0 for 1 with a flyout and a hit by pitch. First pitch right at the knees, called a strike. 0-1. So Cade Chris with a big opportunity here for the Drifters in the top of the 5th inning. On deck is Dominic Hellman. Nobody out.
Trying to pepper that shed out in center.
Here's the 0-1. Looked at, called the strike, 0-2. Cade Chris going to have to be defensive. He's been swinging a good bat as of late. He's been able to get aboard consistently throughout the past week. Overall in the year, 266 batting average, but he has 23 strikeouts overall. Really high strikeout rate. As the 0-2 runs away, 1-2. Overall in the year, 7 RBIs for Cade Christ.
Black Bears have not won a series since the Walla Walla Sweet Series back in the second weekend of June. Trying to change that here this weekend back home.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Chris. Waited for, line to left, gets down. Frazier's going to come in to score. They stop Justice at third. Now he'll sprint in as Halverson bobbled it in left field, and we're tied at 4.
On the RBI base knock by Cade Christ.
Cade Chris gets it done for the Drifters, a 2 RBI single, and we're knotted at 4.
Chris picking up RBIs 8 and 9 on the year as Brady Corrigan will
Chris now 9 RBIs overall as Angeroth allows some runs, and now here's a mound meeting. Drifters start with 3 straight hits to start the 5th inning. Zangeroth is getting lit up right now.
4+ innings. Still no outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Dominic Hellman comes to the
Still nobody out. Cade Chris standing at first.
6:35 tomorrow for game number 2.
Dominic Hellman's going to be coming to the plate. Angeroth on the mound for Cowlitz. He's been up and down this season. Had a really great 5 2/3 no-run performance against Edmonton back on June 21st, but he followed that outing with a 7-run performance in only a third of an inning against Victoria. He gave up 6 hits overall against Victoria on June 28th. Did have a 3-inning, 1-hit, no-run performance against Kamloops on July 2nd, rather. But off to a poor start today as Hellman looks at a pitch called a strike, 0-1. Hellman so far today, 1 for 1 with a double. 8 hits today for Springfield. As the 0-1 to Hellman, looked at, called a strike. Like a fastball right at the knees, 0-2.
Knees, and we're trying to live there. Hellman here today, 1 for 1, a double.
Hellman already has an RBI today. As Cade Chris over at first, 4-4 the score. Hellman lines it towards right field. Going back and making the catch is Austin Smith, the right fielder. It's like Hellman defensive swing there, just gets contact, sends it to right, and it's a fly out to start.
Bringing in the bottom 3 of the order in Taylor Holder.
So bring up Taylor Holder, the center fielder today, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and flyout. Has Cade Christ at first. 1 out, 4-4 the score. Drifters 2 runs in each of the past inning to tie it. Off speed, Holder waits for it, sends it to right center field. Going back is Smith at the track, makes the catch. Heading back to first is Cade Christ, and Taylor Holder again gets good contact on the ball. Just another fly out.
Another piece of good contact. Now there's 2 going on, 2 straight F9.
And Taylor Holder's had a real rough go at it. He's been getting some really good contact for him, but really hasn't had any success. No hits in each of the last 4 games for Taylor Holder. In steps Matt Quintanar as the first pitch he sees, looked at, called a strike, 0-1. Quintanar so far 0 for 1 after reaching on an error his last at bat. Also walked back in the second.
Middle innings in the first game of this 3-game set.
Here's the 0-1, foul back, 0-2. One lands in the stands right next to us. Here at Story Field today, bleachers here are a little bit old. They're green actual benches. It's kind of cool. It's like an old-time field ballpark. Booth a little small, but the field is phenomenal. Pitch inside, and it's 1-2 to Keenanar. Some real quality turf here on this field. You can see why they hold the NWAC tournament here, because it is super duper nice. The 1-2 to Quintanar, looked at, just misses low and away, and it's now 2-2 to the DH. It's a young Drifters team, and Quintanar, one of the younger ones. An incoming freshman next year. Has Cade Christ at first. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Angeroff. Looked at again, but just misses right below the knees. 3-2 to Quintanar. Still just 1 hit on the year for Quintanar. Looking for hit number 2. This is at bat number 10 for him. Here's the 3-2, popped in the air, and drifting back towards the home plate side. Making the catch is Arnone, the catcher, and Quintanar pops up into foul territory, but the Drifters tie it on a 2 RBI hit by Cade Chris. 4-4 the score as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Bernie's Pizza is happy providing great pizza to great baseball fans. Also at this time, I'd like to give a huge shout out to someone who has a birthday here tonight. Longtime Home Plate Club member Celeste Chrisman. Happy birthday! Stand up, let him cheer for you, Celeste. Come on. There she is. Third baseman, number 6, Nick Miller.
Bottom of the 5th inning, it's a brand new ball game. 4-4 the score as Dylan O'Connor fires in a strike to Nick Miller. It's 0-1. Nick Miller, John Olson, Brock Brosette due up for the Black Bears. It's batters 6, 7, and 8. Miller today 1 for 2 as O'Connor throws a pitch, swung on and missed. 0-2, got him to chase on a ball in the dirt. Miller had that single back in the second. They got past Jalen Ray, the shortstop. Since then, a ground out to third. Dylan O'Connor has been really working efficiently since coming out of the pen. Has an 0-2 count. The 0-2, Stevens, the catcher, can't corral the ball low and away, and it's 1-2. O'Connor came in for Diego Chavez after Chavez gave up 6 hits overall, 3 runs and 2 walks. No strikeouts for Chavez, but since then O'Connor's come in. And last inning he had a 1-2-3 inning despite an error. 2-2 now as that pitch missed high. Springfield 2 runs in the 4th, 2 runs in the 5th to tie it. 2 RBI single for Cade Chris, the first baseman. Here's the 2-2. Curveball misses just high, and it's now 3-2. It's really interesting seeing this Drifters team try to figure out the bullpen situation. Connor, one of the guys that they've really had to try to puzzle out. Chopped right back up to O'Connor, the pitcher, and he throws it to first, and Miller says that he fouled it off himself, and they call it a foul off himself.
Nothing was called by the umpires. Nick Miller, though, knew it immediately.
3-2 the count, nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the fifth, 4-4 the score. Dylan O'Connor on the mound. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Stevens gets it, throws over to first, and Miller's out on a strikeout. Second strikeout overall for Dylan O'Connor. As the first out's recorded here in the fifth.
Now batting the first baseman, number 47, John Olson.
Up to the plate now, John Olson, the first baseman. 0 for 1 with a ground out in his last at bat, but he walked and scored a run back in the second. 4-4 the score, 1 out, nobody on. Off speed from O'Connor, fouled back, 0-1. So John Olson, he went on a little bit of a cold streak in the middle portion of the year. Had a streak really, had 1 hit in about 8 games for the Black Bears. He's all the way down to number 7 in the batting order. The 0-1 swings and misses. It's 0-2. Hit over 900 in that opening series against the Drifters. 12 hits and only 13 at bats. Seemed like he was impossible to try to get out. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Olson. Waits for it, lines it towards center field. Holder comes in a few steps. He'll make the catch. And Olson's retired on a fly out to center. 2 are gone. Up to the plate is now Brock Bozette, the shortstop. Has singled in both of his at-bats. Had a single last inning in the third that scored a run. First pitch to Bozette. Waits for it. Chops it towards the right side as he got jammed, and it's fair. It's down the right field line, but he's just going to stay at first as Frazier fields it in right. It's a 2-out single for Bozette. And it brings up Brady Majewski, the second baseman. So 2-out hits are very dangerous. Cowlitz looking to capitalize. Up to the plate is Majewski, who today is 1 for 2 with a bunt single. Swings and misses at the first pitch to him, 0-1. That bunt that he laid down was a perfect one, was able to easily get to first in time. And again, it's a guy that Coach Richards has a lot of praise for. He's a guy that the coaches say just does the game the right way. Looks at a pitch, misses, and it's 1-1. Majewski at Mount Hood Community College. He's the type of guy that really, if he had a few more pounds of muscle, he'd be looking at across the country. The 1-1 fouls it off, and it's 1-2. He just plays really, really well. Does all the little things that make a good baseball player. Runner at first, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Line to left field, gets down. Bozette goes to second on the hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles. And the Black Bears are in business in this 4-4 ball game. So bring up Ben Ziegler, the center fielder, who today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and walk. Was a runner at second back in the first when the ball got chopped up the middle. It hit him as a runner and he was out. Now he stands in with 2 runners on, 1 at first, 1 at second. First pitch from O'Connor, misses away, 1-0. Prior to the back-to-back singles, O'Connor had gotten 5 straight batters out. 3 via flyouts, 4 via flyouts, 1 via the strikeout. Here's the 1-0, swing and a miss. Connor blew it right past him on the outside part of the plate. 1-1.
Ziegler's 0 for 2 today. Back in the first, popped out in the second, and struck out in the third.
Ziegler searching for his first hit. One of the best hitters on this Black Bears team, the leadoff man.
Hits against the starter today, Diego Chavez.
Here's the 1-1. Connor fires it in for a strike. 1-2. Stevens, the catcher, couldn't catch it. So Connor a strike away from getting out of this jam, looking to keep it tied. 4-4 the score. At second is Bozet. At first is Majewski. O'Connor shakes. Shakes again, now comes set at the waist. 1-2. Swings and fouls it right into the mitt. And that'll do it for the 5th inning. O'Connor gets strikeout number 3. 2 runners are left stranded after back-to-back 2-out hits by Bozet and Majewski. We head to the 6th inning, tied 4-4. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
We got Kaysen heading over to first, and we got Ian going to second. Ian, go to second.
Sometimes we all lose our way, Ian. Good job, buddy. David getting done in record time. Good job, Ian. Great work, Jenna. We got a little extra sweeping there. Great work, gentlemen. And folks, this is the last call for Chuck-a-Ball. So go over to the merch tent. It's $1 a ball, $1 a ball, or $6 or $5. And you can find out if you're the lucky winner at the bottom of the 7th. And thank you to Les Schwab Tires, a proud sponsor of the Black Bears. When you need tires, wheels, and safety services, Les Schwab is here for you. Visit leschwab.com or stop by. And thank you to Guest House. The Guest House Inn and Suites is the official hospitality partner of the Cowlitz Black Bears.
Top of the 6th inning, Nate Stevens going to lead things off for the Springfield Drifters. Ingeroth still on the mound as the first pitch to Stevens called a strike, 0-1.
Stevens 0 for 1. Round out to John Wilson in the second. And a bunt.
Stevens today 0 for 1 with a ground out back in the second. Had a sacrifice squeeze in his last at bat as he fouls a pitch that he loses his bat on. He just looked down and the bat wasn't there. Stevens will go chase that. 0-2 the count to the catcher.
67. 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. Washington State Cougar. Started off at Arkansas. Transferred to Johnson Community College in Kansas.
Stevens going to get a few extra pine tar on the bat there.
Played in 9 games for the Cougars.
0-2 the count, nobody on.
10 at the plate.
So Stevens got an RBI in his last at bat. That was a positive for him. He's had a couple of big-time opportunities today. He's finally able to get an RBI, but man, he's trying to break out of this slump he's been. The 0-2 to Stevens, gonna line it towards left field, and it gets down. Stevens gets a hit. 1 for 2 now, and I'm sure that feels good for Nate. He's been struggling to pull together some hits, but he gets one here today. Got to think that one big hit is going to spur a comeback in the season for Stevens, as he's a very talented baseball player. It seems that at times he gets a little bit too caught up towards his head and really can't pull it together. I'm getting a slump, and once he's down, it's really hard to get him back up. But a big performance today could potentially propel him to a strong second half in the year. It looks like Ingeroth's day is over, and they're going to take the ball from him, meaning we're going to get a new pitcher here in Longview. We're going to step aside and take a break and find out who the new pitcher is. But when we come back, it's the top of the 6th inning, 4-4 the score. Runner at first and Nate Stevens for the Drifters, nobody out. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Warming up on the mound for your Black Bears, the right-hander from Chaffee College, number 21, Brandon Wedge.
The new pitcher on the mound is going to be Brandon Wedge. He's the right-hander from Chaffee College in California. He replaces Carson Ehrengraf, who went 1 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Those 2 earned runs were huge as they came off the bat from Cade Chris, a 2 RBI single last inning in the 5th. Tied the game 4-4, and that's where we currently stand right now. As Jalen Ray, the top of the order, are going to kick things off with Nate Stevens, the 9-hole hitter who had a single to start this 6th, standing at first. Big at bat for Nate Stevens. Picked up a hit today. It's his 2nd hit in the past 3 games. And in steps Jalen Ray. Jalen Ray today, 2 for 3 with 2 singles in each of his last 2 at-bats in the 3rd and 4th. First pitch to Ray, misses outside, 1-0. So Wedge is the new pitcher on the mound for the Black Bears. This is going to be his 8th outing overall for Cowlitz. The 1-0. Ray's going to sky this towards right field. Smith sprinting towards the line. He'll dive and make the catch in foul territory. Head first dive from Austin Smith, the right fielder, is a nice play. And Jalen Ray is retired on a fly out to right. It'll bring up Trevor Anson, as Ray is now 2 for 4 today. Anson today is having a poor day at the plate. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts looking, and a ground out into a double play. Runner at first. First pitch to him, misses outside. 1-0. So Stevens at first, 1 out, 4-4 the score in the top of the 6th. Here's the 1-0 to Anson, going to be lined right back up the middle, caught by Wedge. He'll go over to first, and Stevens is doubled up. It's the 2nd time today Anson's hit into a double play. He's now 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts looking and 2 double plays he's hit into. We now head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-4 the score, as the Drifters go down 1-2-3 in a unique fashion. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Springfield is enjoyable for the whole family. Here's some upcoming Money Scramble presented by Fiber Federal Credit Union. Bring the family and let the kids make some money on the warning track. All kids 12 and under are welcome to participate. No registration necessary. And it's almost that time, country music fans. Court Carpenter will be back to perform a thrilling post-game concert next Friday, July 15th. Tickets are going fast, so make sure you get yours while you still can. Court Carpenter is presented by Diamond Showcase and supported by Keller Williams Star Team. And mark your calendars because our first and only fireworks night of the summer will take place Saturday, July 23rd. Come out and support the Black Bears as they square off against their fierce rival, the Ridgefield Raptors. This epic show will be put on by Pacific Tech Construction and Western Fabrication. And now batting, the left fielder, number 13, Cowlitz Black.
Bottom of the sixth inning, a tough break for the Drifters offensively as Trevor Anderson hits into his second double play today. It leaves Steven stranded at first as the first pitch misses low below the knees from Dylan O'Connor to Calvin Halverson, and it's 1-0. Calvin Halverson today, a single back in the second, reached on an error in his last at bat. 1 for 3 overall with an RBI. Thought about swinging there, almost hit him inside, and it's 2-0. Dylan O'Connor has had a strong outing today out of the pen. He's gotten 3 strikeouts. So he'll throw a pitch called for a strike, 2-1. Last inning he allowed 2 singles, but prior to that he'd gotten 5 straight batters to get out. Had quite the streak going. Halverson, he was the one that reached on an error. See a pitch from O'Connor, miss, and it's 3-1 rather. Halverson, that error was to Dominic Hellman, his 3rd error overall in this young year for Hellman. So 3-1 in there for a strike, and the count's full. Halverson, the outfielder from Guthrie, Oklahoma. Just committed to Utah Valley in April. Grounds it to Hellman at third. Tough throw from third. He'll bounce it on 2 hops, and he gets there just in time. It was a deep throw from Hellman, almost near the grassy area. Bounced it twice, but Halverson's out as Cade Chris able to pick it at first. It'll bring up Sam Canton, the DH.
Designated hitter number 17, Sam Canton.
Canton, an outfielder from Gonzaga, originally from Port Orchard, Washington, stands in today for the 4th time. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI. First pitch to the left-handed hitter, called a strike right at the knees, 0-1. So Canton DHing today, has some speed. He's one of 4 outfielders on this Black Bears team, and in fact, all 4 outfielders getting the start today. As the off-speed from O'Connor's in there for a strike, 0-2. Canton, the odd outfielder out, getting the start at DH, not playing in the field, but I'm sure that's well-needed rest for his legs. Black Bears coming off a victory yesterday against the Portland Pickles, but that's going to be a strikeout for Dylan O'Connor, number 4 on the day, and the second out is recorded here in the 6th. It'll bring up Alec Ornoni, the catcher, 1 for 3 today with a single back in the first. Nobody on, 2 outs, 4-4 the score, bottom of the 6th inning. Springfield able to come back from a 4-0 deficit early as O'Connor throws away 1-0. It's been huge for the Drifters to have Dylan O'Connor come in and provide some zeros on the board. It's done a lot better than Diego Chavez, who opened the game. It's going to be lined out towards center field. Holder a few steps over to his left. He'll make the catch on the line, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 they go for the Black Bears. We head to the 7th inning. 4-4 the score. You are watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
All right, fans, it's time for the Corby race. I hope Corby's been training. Jenna, who we got?
Hey, Luke, so for the Corby race, we obviously have Corby. We got Kaysen down here. We got David heading onto the field now. When I say go, they're going to race from the foul, left field foul ball pole, and then they're going to race all the way to the right. When I say go, on your marks, get set, go. Looks like Kaysen is still in the lead, but Corby is catching up.
Kaysen, keep it up, buddy. Corby's on your heels. He's losing steam. Kaysen for the win. Maybe next time, Corb. Sorry, but Kaysen, what an incredible showing.
Top of the 7th inning, Dane Frazier, Jordan Justice, Cade Chris, 2 up for the Drifters, 3, 4, and 5 for Springfield. Facing off against the right-hander in Brandon Wedge, who came in last inning, got the final outs, was able to get out of it. Carson Ergoth was the pitcher before him. Ran into trouble, got Stevens aboard with a single. They put in Wedge. Got a fly out and a line out into a double play to end the inning. 3 outs for him, and in steps Dane Frazier, who today is 2 for 3 with a single run last at bat in the 5th and a double in the 3rd. Man, Frazier's been killing it on the road. First pitch to Frazier, misses high, 1-0. Some hitters just can hit really good at home, and some hitters can just hit really good on the road. Frazier just really good on the road. Here's the 1-0 to him, cuts right through it, and it's 1-1. But his best series overall hitting were the Bend series and the Yakima series. Both of those were on the road. The 1-1 to Frazier, high at the letters, 2-1. Against Bend, he had a 3 for 5 performance, followed by a 1 for 4 performance. 3 runs, a couple of doubles, and an RBI for him overall in that series. Fouled this one away, 2-2. Against Yakima Valley, his first 2 games, he had 3 for 5 days. Doubles in each of those games. Total of 5 RBIs against the Pippins. Game number 3, he got aboard 3 times with a walk. The 2-2 to him. Slider got him. Frazier's going to go down looking. It's now 2 for 4. First outs recorded in the top of the 7th. Backwards K. First strikeout for Wedge, and he'll bring up Jordan Justice, the center fielder.
Wedge working quickly. Here's the first pitch.
Pitch to Jordan Justice, in there for a strike, 0-1. Jordan Justice had a double in his last at-bat. 2 for 3 day with a strikeout. Cuts through that one, and he's down 0-2. So 1 strikeout, he was really reaching for pitches outside. Ended up going down in a off-speed pitch that was well outside the zone, low and away. He'll pop up the 3rd pitch to him, and it goes out of play. 4-4 the score, top of the 7th inning. Nobody on, 1 out for Jordan Justice. An 0-2 count with Wedge on the mound. Here's the 0-2. Fastball low, 1-2. Yeah, and this is Wedge's 8th outing overall in the year. All 8 of his outings have come from the bullpen. The 1-2, Justice cuts through it. He goes down swinging for the second time today. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wedge, and 2 are gone here in the 7th. This brings up Cade Christ, who had a 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning to tie this game at 4. He'll step up today for the second time. Rather, the 4th time, as they'll look at a pitch outside. 1-0, first time since that last hit. He's 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run back in the 4th. The 1-0 to Chris, fastball away, and it's now 2-0 to Cade. Nobody on, 2 outs, 4-4 the score. Top of the 7th inning. Wedge the right-hander. Here's the 2-0. Cade Chris cuts right through it. 2-1. Wedge's first couple of outings of the year were very successful. Had a 5-run performance against Walla Walla. In his first 6 outings, 5 of them were scoreless. Throw a pitch outside, and it's 3-1. Since then, he gave up 2 runs in 3 innings against Victoria, and he gave up 1 run in 3 innings against Kamloops. The 3-1 to Chris. Swing on and miss. Count is full.
Tied up at 4 on Friday in Longview. Wedge looking for a 1-2-3 inning, trying to get the blank.
Full count, 2 outs. Nobody on for Cade Chris. 4-4 game. Here's the payoff pitch. That one's high, and Chris is aboard for the 3rd time today. Puts a runner on with 2 outs for the Drifters. And it brings up the dangerous Dominic Hellman. 2-out walks are crucial, and they're even more crucial when you can bring up a hitter like Dominic Hellman that could change this game with 1 swing. First pitch to Hellman, gets past the catcher Arnone. Heading over to second is Cade Chris, and a pass ball puts a runner in scoring position for the Drifters. So a pass ball puts Chris in scoring position, and now Dominic Hellman, who today is 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI double. Flew out in his last at bat, and a big spot here. 1-0 to Hellman. Fastball called a strike on the inside corner. 1-1.
Hellman looking for a multi-RBI game here today. Picked up an RBI on that double back in the 4th inning. All the way to the wall. Relay came to the plate. Arnone, the catcher, wasn't able to.
Stepping off the mound is Wedge. He'll get back on. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Chris over at second. Right-hander comes set. Here's the 1-1. Hellman looks at it. Just misses, low and away. Catcher Arnone couldn't believe it. Looked back towards the umpire. Either way, it's 2-1. Hellman had his 3rd double of the season earlier today. Picked up RBI number 5 on the year. The 2-1. Hellman reaches for it, fouls it away, 2-2. It's so remarkable seeing the range that Hellman has at the plate. He swings a 35-inch bat. Just an absolutely huge bat for the 6'6" baseball player. Here's the 2-2. Curveball, he waits for it, grounds it to the left side. Fielding it is Bozette, the shortstop. He'll throw it high. Olsen, a jumping play at first, but he can't get the tag there. Hellman is aboard at first. The fans are going to argue, but there'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs after the throw came in high from Bozette.
Here, my vantage point looked like that Olsen might have been able to get the tag down. Moment in this game.
Umpires are converging right now. As of right now, Hellman's over at first, and they're going to call him out. Isaac McAllister, the field umpire, says that Hellman is out at first after the tag play. So it's a 6-3 ground out, and Chris is left stranded at second after the 2-out walk. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, 4-4 the score. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Beautiful work, everybody. And just so you folks know, from this point forward, during our 7th inning stretches, Black Bears superfan Shelly will be tossing out Cracker Jacks to you lucky fans out there. So make sure you sing it loud and sing it proud.
Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-4 the score in this tied ball game. The Drifters were trailing 4-0 early on. They've battled their way back. They've tied it 4-4. And that's our score as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Austin Smith, Nick Miller, John Olson due up for the Black Bears. Dylan O'Connor still on the mound as the first pitch comes inside. 1-0 to Austin Smith. Smith today 1 for 3 with a single and run back in the 3rd, batting for the 4th time today. Second time against O'Connor. He'll line this towards the right side, just past the diving Trevor Anson. And the leadoff man is aboard with a single. Smith, his 2nd single today. It's a 2 for 4 day for Austin Smith, and I'll bring up Nick Miller. 1 for 3 with a run and single back in the 2nd. Since then, a ground out and strikeout. Runner at first, nobody out. 4-4 the score. Dylan O'Connor giving up a hit here to start the 7th after a 1-2-3 6th inning, including a strikeout. So we'll bring up a pinch hitter now, Cade McGee. Infielder from Tucson as the first pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Goes to Gonzaga University where he's a two-way guy for the Bulldogs. Pitches and plays in the field. The 0-1 gets past Stevens, heading over to second as Smith sliding in safely. Another pass ball for Nate Stevens behind the plate, and a runner in scoring position, the go-ahead run for the Black Bears. The 1-1 to McGee, inside, high, 2-1. So McGee replaces Miller. 0-2 on the mound he is, but he's batting 161. It's going to be his 32nd at-bat overall on the year. Here's the 2-1. Going to be lifted towards center field. Holder running back a few steps. He'll stop under it, makes the catch. Tagging at second is the runner and Smith. The throw coming to third, just a little bit behind the runner and Smith. Hellman there at third to corral it. Holder has a strong arm in center field, but not that strong, as Smith able to head over to third. Plenty of time for him. It's a fly out for McGee.
And now batting, first baseman number 47. Give it up for John
And it brings up John Olson, the first baseman. This is a guy the Drifters probably don't want at the plate. Olson was a menace against them their first time. First pitch to Olson, inside, a fastball, 1-0. Again, Olson pretty much perfect against the Drifters their first time these two teams played. 11 for 12 and 917 batting average in that series. 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. He had 7 RBIs total against the Drifters in that series. None bigger than that last game against Springfield, game number 3. Had several go-ahead hits. 1-1, ripped foul, 1-2. He had an RBI hit in the 6th inning of that game, game number 3 against the Drifters. Put him ahead. Drifters scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Took the lead by 2, but Olson again, after they had tied it, he had a 2 RBI single, and they won the game. Olson fouls this away. We'll do the 1-2 again. So Olson had that hit that put them up 8-7. The Drifters ultimately fell in the series. They dropped the series overall 2-1. Now they play them again up here in Longview. The 1-2, Olson gonna chop it to right field. He got jammed but sent it the other way. It's an RBI single for John Olson, and he does it again as the Black Bears take the lead. It is 5-4. So runner at first, 1 out, 5-4. The Black Bears lead as the first pitch to Brock Bozetti skies it high in the air towards center field. Holder over to the left side. He'll make the catch as he jogs over. 1 pitch, 1 out to Bozette. Now 2 are gone here in the bottom of the 7th. Runner at first in Olson. So far 2 hits for Cowlitz in this inning. They were hitless last inning. They had 2 hits in the 5th, no hits in the 4th. Able to make the Drifters pay here. As the ball gets in the dirt, Stevens going to throw to second, but Olson well in time there safely. Second time this inning, Stevens has gotten caught up with a ball at the plate. Allows in a runner going into scoring position. 1-0 the count to Brady Majewski, who today is 2 for 3. Singles in each of his last 2 at-bats. Olson standing at second. 5-4, Cowlitz leading. Here's the 1-0. Fastball high and inside, and it's now 2-0. Gotta think how big that play was for Stevens to not be able to cleanly field the ball behind the plate and have Smith take over to second earlier. Able to advance to third after the flyout. Pitch is called a strike, 2-1, fastball outside part of the plate. It's been the little things this season that have cost the Drifters. Small pass ball like that allows a runner to move into scoring position, and then 2 batters later, the go-ahead hit. The 2-1, Majewski lines it towards the right field side, and it drifts foul, 2-2. It's baseball for you. Can make or break games by just little plays like that. One pitch could make a difference. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Olson standing at second, O'Connor on the mound, trying to get out of the inning. Here's the 2-2, bounces in, Stevens keeps it in front of him. Count is full. On deck is Ben Ziegler, the center fielder, who today is hitless. O'Connor set, 3-2, here's the pitch. Fastball inside, and Majewski sprints us over to first.
Third time today as he draws his second one of the year. And there's two on with two gone.
So now 2 runners are aboard, and here comes Ziegler.
Pinch runner, Nick Hovland coming into the game for John Olson out on second.
So Olson's going to be pinch hit now, or pinch run rather.
Hovland now.
Would be Nick Hovland replacing Olson at second. The Black Bears looking to add some more runs here in the 7th inning. They just took the lead 5-4 on the RBI hit by John Olson. Olson, who advanced over to second after a ball that got into the dirt on Nate Stevens. He gets pinch run by Nick Hovland.
Ziegler again from the left side.
And they want to put him aboard for Ziegler, who today has struggled. 2 strikeouts swinging, a flyout, and a walk.
Ziegler here today, 0 for 3.
Ziegler, though, leads this team in batting average. Came in today with a .371 average. He has 10 RBIs overall in the year. He's coming off a 2 for 5 day yesterday with a double and a run. Hitless so far today as the lefty stands in against the right-hander and Dylan O'Connor. First pitch in, line towards Jalen Ray, the shortstop. He fields it on one hop. He'll throw across the diamond to first just in time, and Ziegler's out on a ground out. And Dylan O'Connor gets out of the jam. 1 run comes in on 2 hits overall. We head to the 8th inning. 5-4 Cowlitz leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
So people have some tennis balls, and if they make it into the bucket, their name goes in a drawing for a party on the party deck with the friends and family of their choice. All right, you guys, contestants, are you ready? 2. My mic is dying. Chuck your ball, go!
Gotta say, we really missed the opportunity to have Corby out there as an incidental obstacle, if you know what I mean. I saw one go in. Keep it going, folks. Judging by that scream, sounds like Abby's microphone does indeed still work.
That's embarrassing.
All right, Abs, how we looking?
We got only 3 tennis balls made it. Congratulations to those 3.
We will find out who those are and get in touch with you. Congratulations and thanks for playing Chuckaball, presented by Heritage Bank. And now batting center fielder number 30, Taylor Holder.
Top of the 8th inning, a 5-4. Cowlitz currently leading the Springfield Drifters. Taylor Holder steps up to the plate, and he'll rip one to left field, and it gets past a diving play, and McGee, the third baseman. And finally, Taylor Holder gets a hit. He has been barreling up some balls. They just haven't gone through, and finally gets a single to left field. And that's how the Drifters kick things off here in the 8th inning.
Pinch hit for Nick Miller.
Up to the plate now is going to be Mac Moyer.
Drifters.
Pinch hitting for the Drifters, number 13, Mac Moyer.
Mac Moyer, the outfielder, going to be an incoming freshman at the University of Oregon. He'll pinch hit for Matt Quintanar.
200 on the year
So the incoming freshman replaces the incoming freshman, and this is a new look for Mac Moyer. He's wearing 2 batting gloves today. Last time we saw Moyer, he wore 1 batting glove on his right hand, none on his left hand. Today he's wearing 2 batting gloves, and he's hoping to have success. The lefty stands in with Holder leading off from first. Nobody out. 5-4 the score. Cowlitz currently leading. Moyer's going to show bunt. He pulls it back. 1-0. Pitch missed high there from Wedge, the pitcher, and maybe this move is to have Moyer lay one down. As the Drifters trail by 1. This is a team that will utilize the small ball. Springfield definitely not afraid to lay one down. The 1-0, Moyer shows bunt, gets it down right at the plate. Arnone, the catcher, picks it up, throws over to first, and Moyer's out on a bunt. But he does his job, moves over Taylor Holder into scoring position. 5-4 the score, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning. It's a nice sack bunt by Moyer. And here's Nate Stevens. 1 for 2 today with a ground out back in the second. Singled in his last at bat in the 6th after laying down a sacrifice squeeze. See if Steve-O can get another hit, as they'll see a pitch almost clip him, and it's 1-0. Stevens had to use his hips to move out of that one. Stevens, that was a big hit for him. Was able to get one through in the 6th. His second hit in 3 games. It's been a while since Stevens has had a multi-hit game. Has a chance for an RBI here as the 1-0 misses high and away, and it's now 2-0 to Stevens. Stevens is a guy that really struggles a lot when he gets in his head. He's a guy that really has been struggling with the mental aspect of baseball, it feels like. This is a guy that I believe that if he got a hit right here in the 8th inning, he could really turn his season around. He could get into his groove. The 2-0. Fastball away. Arnone's going to go back to second, and Holder just in there safely. Looked like a really good throw by Arnone, the catcher. It looked like it got in just a half second before Holder. But Holder just under the tag, and it's 3-0. Man, almost a huge swing of momentum there. Instead, it's a 3-0 count to Stevens, the catcher. Holder at second. 5-4, Cowlitz leading. 1 out, top of the 8th. Here's the pitch to Stevens. Takes the 3-0, and it's called a strike, 3-1. Drifters have not had a 3-0 count hitter swing the bat the entire season. Here's the 3-1. Gets in the dirt, and Stevens is aboard with a walk.
So the go-ahead run now on base for the Drifters here in the top of the 8th inning, as that's going to bring out Alan Embry.
So now Wedge on the mound with 1 out, 2 runners on. Holder at second, Stevens at first. It looks like we're going to get a pinch runner. And we're going to get a new pitcher too, I believe. And we are going to get a new pitcher, so we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the new pitcher and introduce you to the new pinch runner as well. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Attention, please. Now warming up on the mound, the righty from Linfield College, number 5, Skylar Manowski.
New pitcher on the mound is going to be number 5, Skylar Mileski. He's a pitcher from Linfield. Now at first base, pinch running for Nate Stevens, is going to be Isaiah Thomas. This is our first look at Isaiah Thomas. He's going to be headed off to University of Oregon next year after transferring there from Vanderbilt. Up at the plate is going to be Jalen Ray. At second is Taylor Holder. 1 out. 5-4 the score, and Mileski hits Jalen Ray on the first pitch to him. And Jalen Ray is going to be aboard with a hit by pitch. It was a little bit of a weird play there, as it looked like as Ray got hit by a pitch, he lunged forward.
Pinch runner into the game, Isaiah Thomas, standing out on second.
So with that, Thomas moves over to second, Holder over to third. The bases are loaded, and up to the plate is Trevor Anson. And Anson today hitless with a poor day hitting. As he looks at the first pitch called to strike, 0-1. He has 2 strikeouts looking and 2 balls that he's hit into double plays. 1 a ground out into a 6-4-3 double play, and 1 a line out right back to the pitcher. And he has an 0-1 count. The bases loaded, 1 out. As he gets jammed and fouls off a pitch, stays alive, and it's now 0-2. Last time Anson came up to the bases loaded, he hit a walk-off hit to left field. That was back on Monday. The 3rd walk-off hit of the season for the Drifters. Has a big moment here with a chance to put his team in front. 5-4 the score, the 0-2. Anson gets a piece of it, jammed him inside, 0-2. Mileski, it's a hard pitcher to try to hit against. He's a submarine thrower.
Drifters have left 8 runners on base here today.
Tough righty-on-righty matchup, especially with the submarine pitcher. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Anson jammed again, gets a piece of it. Do it one more time. This is our 2nd time we're seeing Mileski. Actually, 3rd time, pitched twice in the series against the Drifters, the first time in Springfield. Those were his first 2 outings of the year. This is outing number 16. Anson gonna line this up the middle. It gets down. 1 run scores in Holder. They're waving Thomas. The throw comes in from center field. Not in time. Isaiah Thomas a head first slide, and the Drifters take the lead 6-5.
Single as the Drifters take their first lead here this evening. It's now 6-5 in the top of the 8th inning.
The Drifters were trailing early on 4-0. They've battled their way back. They tied it 4-4. They surrendered the tie game as the Black Bears took the lead 5-4. But it's a 2 RBI hit for Trevor Anson with the bases loaded to put him ahead in the 8th, 6-5. Still just 1 out, and up to the plate, Dane Frazier. First pitch to Frazier, in there for a strike, 0-1. How about that way to break out of the day that Trevor Anson's been having? Couple of strikeouts looking and a couple of double plays he hit into. Great way to bounce back mentally and get a 2 RBI hit with the bases loaded. Mileski steps off. We'll step back on. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Jalen Ray at second. Anson, he's at first. Here's the 0-1. Frazier lines it on a ground up the middle. Majewski knocks it down, flips it over to Bozette for 1. They go to first. It's a double play. A 4-6-3 double play ends the inning, but not before Trevor Anson comes up to the plate. It's a 2 RBI single as the Drifters take the lead 6-5. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Springfield leading by 1. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
behind the dish. The catcher, number 24, Ryan Escobar.
Bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. It's going to be the right-hander, Eli Holbert, or as we know him, Peaches. Holbert will come in for O'Connor with his team giving him the lead in the top of the 8th. A 2 RBI hit for Trevor Anson as the first pitch from Holbert's in there for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 from Holbert, grounded foul, and it's now 0-2. Halverson, the batter at the plate so far today. An RBI single back in the second, but a 1-for-4 day. The 0-2 from Holbert, fouled back. We'll do the 0-2 again. New catcher in the game, it's Ryan Fowler, the catcher from Tacoma Community College, originally from Yakima. Holbert, this is his 8th outing of the year, an 8.67 ERA as the 0-2 misses away, 1-2. He's a hard-throwing right-hander. He's originally from Sherwood, Oregon, now goes to Everett Community College. The 1-2 to Halverson, swing and a miss. And Holbert's going to get a strikeout here. Strikeout number 10 on the year for Holbert. Strikeout number 1 today as the first out's recorded in the 8th.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 17, Sam Canton.
This brings up Sam Canton, the DH. 2 singles in the first and second, including an RBI, but since then a flyout and strikeout as Holbert fires a strike, 0-1. Holbert had a scoreless 2-inning effort in his last outing against Yakima Valley as this one's fouled off. 0-2. Holbert in that outing was able to get up to 95 miles per hour. That was the tops of the season for him. He was telling me that he got up to 94.98 beforehand. Didn't reach 95 until then as the 0-2 misses outside, 1-2. He's a guy that consistently throws in the low 90s, trying to peak in the mid 90s now. The 1-2 just misses below the knees, and it's now 2-2 from Holbert. 6'4", 240 pounds is Holbert. Quite the build. 2-2 runs inside, and it's now 3-2. I think that's been the issue with Holbert. His control. It's something that he's been trying to work on this summer, and especially in community college. The 1-2. Going to be lined out towards left field pretty deep. Going back towards the track is Jordan Justice, and he'll make the catch. It's a loud second out, but 2 are gone here in the 8th. So bring up Alec Arnone, the catcher, who today is 1-for-4 with a single back in the first. 2 outs, nobody on. 6-5, the Drifters lead after taking the lead in the top of the 8th inning. They've sent out Eli Holbert. He's gotten 2 outs. First pitch to Arnone. Grounded left side on a chopper. Ray comes in on a 1 bounce. He'll throw over to first, and that'll do it for Arnone. 1, 2, 3 they go in the bottom of the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. The Drifters looking for last-minute insurance, hoping to close this one out against the Cowlitz Black Bears. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here in Longview on the Drifters YouTube channel.
Providing quality physical rehabilitation services to clients throughout Southwest Washington. Longview Physical and Sports Therapy is a proud Black Bears partner with an exceptional combined professional experience. Also, thank you to Hamer Electric, providing value-added electrical contracting services for industry, systems integration, commercial, and residential throughout Southwest Washington and Northwest Oregon. Visit HamerElectric.com. Also, thank you to Safeway and Albertsons stores, proud sponsors of the Cowlitz Black Bears. The Safeway Albertsons Foundation gives back locally in all communities it serves, including 6. And thank you to River Cities Transit, Longview and Kelso's public transportation system. They have 9 routes to connect you where you want to go. Use Google to find the stop nearest you or visit rctransit.org for all the details. And lastly, thank you to Bob's Sporting Goods, the proud sponsor of the Black Bears Party Day. Bob's has been serving our community since 1947. Head over at 1111 Hudson Street in Longview or go to bobsmerch.com.
Top of the 9th inning, the Springfield Drifters leading by 1. It is 6-5. Jordan Justice, Cade Chris, Dominic Hellman due up for the Springfield Drifters. First pitch from Skylar Monleski misses away, and it's 1-0 to Jordan Justice. So the Drifters last inning were able to take the lead. After the 2 RBI hit for Trevor Anson, he was able to bring in Isaiah Thomas. And first pitch is fouled off, 1-1. Or second pitch is fouled off, 1-1. Brought in him and Taylor Holder. Holder, the former Oregon Duck. Thomas, the new Oregon Duck. Jordan Justice today, couple hits, swings and misses, 1-2. He had a single back in the second and a double back in the 5th, but in between those, he's had 2 strikeouts. 1-2 the count from Monleski. Here's the pitch. Justice lines it right to John Olson, the first baseman. I mean, that's Haviland, the newly inputted first baseman. And that'll do it for Jordan Justice. First out is recorded on the lineout. This brings up Cade Chris today, who had a 2 RBI hit back in the 5th inning. Will stand in. Looks at a pitch inside and misses 1-0. Cade Chris has reached base safely 3 of the 4 times he's come to the plate. A hit by pitch, a walk, and that 2 RBI single. Pitch misses low, and it's now 2-0 to Cade Chris. Did score a run on that hit by pitch back in the 4th inning. So a successful day at the plate for Cade Chris and has returned to Story Field. Swings and misses at that one, and it's now 2-1. Monleski, a tough pitcher to try to hit with the submarine motion. Had bases loaded with 1 out last inning. Got Dane Frazier to ground into a double play. It was huge for the Black Bears to keep it a 1-run game. Inside to Cade Chris, able to move his hips away, and it's now 3-1. Springfield trying to add last-minute insurance against Cowlitz. They had the lead going into the 9th inning earlier this season against the Black Bears as Chris takes a pitch for a strike, 3-2. They took the lead against Cowlitz. They were leading 7-5 in that 7th inning of game number 3. Cowlitz scored 3 runs and ended up going ahead. The Drifters had a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th, and they went home with the loss. Cade Chris fouls it off, stays alive. We'll do one more. On deck's Dominic Hellman, the third baseman.
23 strikeouts over 20 games.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. 6-5, the Drifters lead. Here's the pitch. Fouled off by Chris. He'll stay alive. Cade Chris, one of the higher strikeout rates on the Drifters team. It's over 20% past couple of games, averaging over a strikeout per game. Here's the 3-2. Got him looking. So there's that first strikeout for Cade Chris, a backwards K. First strikeout for Monleski, and that'll bring up Dominic Hellman with 2 outs, nobody on. Cade Chris all smiles as he heads back to the dugout. Not much he could do on that one as it's a called strike 3, and here's Hellman. First pitch slider away. 1-0. Hellman today 1 for 3 with an RBI double back in the fourth. He came around to score that fourth inning as well. As he put the first 2 runs of the game on for the Drifters. Fouls off this one, 1-1. Dominic Hellman from the state of Washington, playing back in his home state. Not sure how many sidearm submarine pitchers Hellman's faced in high school. As a look at a pitch called a strike here, 1-2. I think that's the great thing about summer ball for these incoming freshmen is they get a first chance at looking at some of these submarine guys like Mamleski. Hellman, this may be one of his first times getting to see a submariner. Here's the 1-2. Hellman gonna be jammed up towards the right side of the field on a fly, and Majewski over makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 they go in the top of the ninth. We'll see who the Drifters bring out for the bottom of the ninth as they look to close this out as they lead 6-5. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Help us keep Springfield clean this summer. Please collect your trash and deposit it in the nearest waste can. Cowlitz Black Bears, thank you. Your attention, please. Now warming up on the mound for the Springfield Drifters, the right-hander number 3, Zach Jokic.
Bottom of the ninth inning, and the new pitcher on the mound is going to be Zach Chonkich.
For Smitty Austin.
As Zach Chonkich looks for revenge against the Cowlitz Black Bears, as the first pitch from Chonkich is fouled away, 0-1. Chonkich this year, 1-2. Excuse me, not 1-2. He is 0-0 with a 1.42 ERA. This is going to be his 9th outing overall on the year. But man, his first outing was against the Black Bears, and it was rough. The 0-1, Smith's going to ground it towards the left side. Anson knocks it down at second, quickly picks it up, throws to first, but not in time. As Austin Smith able to get it down for they're going to call it an error, actually, on Anson as he slid to knock it down. So Smith over at first. Nobody out, and up to the plate is going to be Cade McGee, the seventh hitter in the lineup.
Cade McGee.
Chonkich fires a pitch, called a strike, 0-1. McGee came in the 7th inning. He flew out his only at bat. Now he has a runner at first in Austin Smith. Nobody out. Smith the tying run. And McGee, he is the winning run for the Black Bears. Here's the 0-1. Chonkich throws a strike, 0-2. So the first time that Chonkich came out for the Drifters, it was against the Cowlitz Black Bears. It was all the way back in that first series, game number 2. The The Drifters were leading 7-5. They put in Chonkic, and he could not get an out.
Here's his 0-2.
The 0-2
Fastball.
fouled away. Just staying alive is McGee.
We'll do it again.
Chonkic came in, gave up 3 earned runs on 3 hits, including a walk in that game number 1 against the Cowlitz, or I guess game number 3 rather.
Chonkic has 1 save, came against Corvallis back on June 30th. Got the final 3 outs, walking 1 and striking out 1. Here's the 0-2 once again.
Here's the 0-2.
Not too far up the outer half.
Outside, 1-2.
Veteran take there from the freshman.
Cade Chris, the first baseman, covering.
Second team freshman All-American.
Smith there after he reached on the air. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to McGee. Swing and a miss. Chonkic gets the strikeout for out number 1.
McGee swings over the top.
McGee 0 for 2 today.
Down to their final 2 outs.
This will bring up Nick Hovland, who came into the game to replace John Olson after Olson singled for an RBI, advanced over to second on a pass ball. They brought into Hovland, 2-pinch run, and now he's going to be hitting here for the first time as the first pitch he fouls off the mask of Ryan Fowler, the catcher. 0-1.
Run over at first. Hovland at the plate, representing the winning run.
Can feel the intensity here with the tying run at first, the winning run at the plate.
Back in Victoria.
Chonkic looking to get the closeout tonight. Looking for revenge against Cowlitz. The 0-1. Slider outside. 1-1.
First non-competitive pitch that we've seen from Chonkic here.
Chonkic loves to throw the fastball. In fact, he's pretty much just a fastball pitcher. Came in really not as a pitcher. He came in as a position player, but they PO'd him this past year at Pepperdine. Fouled away. 1-2. He originally was an infielder, a left side infielder indeed, a third baseman and shortstop at Pepperdine. They put him into the game against Cal Poly Slow earlier this year. They found out that he threw over 90 miles per hour with a spin rate of 2,400, and they said, hey, you're going to be a pitcher now. The 1-2 fouled away towards the right field side, out of play. 1-2. So he came in just really chucking the ball. That was all he knew how to do. He knew how to throw hard. And now he's been the closer for the Drifters. 1-2 the count, 1 out. Runner at first. Hovland at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Fowler doing a great job behind the plate to keep it in front of him. Huge defense for Fowler. Fowler probably the best defensive catcher on this Drifters team. He was a late game substitution. The defense paying off there. Here's the 2-2. Fastball low. It's now 3-2.
Brock Bozette in the on-deck circle.
Smith leading off from first. Chonkic on the mound. Here's the 3-2. Chopped, first base side. Chris comes in, fields it, foul. One just to the right of the chalk. We'll do the 3-2 one more time.
Do the 3-2 once again. Tense moments once again for this Black Bears team.
It's been a wild game for sure. Cowlitz led early, 4-0. Springfield battled back, tied at 4-4. Cowlitz took the lead 5-4, but Springfield 2 runs in the 8th to lead 6-5. Here's the 3-2, grounded towards the left side. Jalen Ray back picks it, now throws on the run all the way to first. They got him. It was a bang-bang play at first. McAllister, the field umpire, calls Hovland out. It's a 6-3 ground out. Tough throw from Jalen Ray just in time. But moving over to second base is Austin Smith. And the tying run is in scoring position for the Black Bears. This brings up Brock Bozette, the shortstop. Bozette today, 3 for 4. 3 singles, each in his first 3 at-bats. Now Smith at second, 2 outs. First pitch. Fastball inside, 1-0. One missing low and in on Bozette. Smith has speed at second base. Chonkic looking to close this one out. The right-hander comes set at the waist. Here's the 1-0. Fastball high and inside, 2-0. Chonkic has yet have a ball leave the infield. Smith reaching on an error by Trevor Hansen. The third error today by Springfield. Chonkic shakes his head. Now comes set. Here's the 2-0. Lifted high in the air towards left field. Going back a few steps is Justice. Now he'll come in, and actually Cole Kleckner, the inputted left fielder, comes in, makes the catch, and that'll do it for us here as Springfield wins 6-5. They come on the road to Cowlitz, and they win game number 1 against the Black Bears in comeback fashion. This is a team that earlier in this week struggled with adversity, but they came back from 4 runs against Victoria on Monday. They walked it off. And here tonight, they battle their way back, 2 runs in the 8th inning to take the lead 6-5. And Zach Chonkic gets revenge against the Cowlitz Black Bears. He gets the save tonight as the Drifters close it out for a 6-5 victory. We'll be back at it again tomorrow for game number 2 of the series. That game going to be tipping off at 6:35. But that'll do it for us here in Longview for game number 1 as the Drifters win 6-5. We'll see you guys tomorrow. So long from Longview.
Sunday, it's going to be kids-free Sunday. Children 12 and under get in for free.